Tune into this. Turn on the cam, I am the fizz. Turn on the switch, listen to Strick, yeah. Know if we swinging, there's never a miss. Don't follow a script, yeah. Topics change quick. Looking for facts, looking for tips. One's an enforcer, one's a reporter. Together we Cam and Strick, yeah.
Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number 336.
Yeah, yoink. 336. That's a dang good number.
Show them your hair today.
Why?
Because you put gel in your hair.
No,
today.
I didn't. Not yet. I got to do it after this.
Oh, you said you put gel in your hair.
I have to do it after this.
Oh.
I have to do it after this.
Do it again.
I have to do it after. Yoink. 336. Damn good number. What number is that?
What kind of gel do you use?
I'll show you right now.
And-
It's goddamn gel right here. Fuck. It's in my car.
Oh, my God.
It's in my car. It's wax. I go like this. And then like perfect, make everything perfect, and I barely have any hair. It's pathetic.
Thumb to the forefinger.
I'm like, here, I'll do it. I'm like this. Like seriously, I'll stick it up like this.
Oh, my
God.
And nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Nothing. Doesn't make a difference. Horrible. It's a pathetic thing I do.
Ivy's TikTok got banned.
Why? What'd she do?
Oh, she didn't do anything.
What'd she do?
She's too young. You have to be 13, I think. And somehow these kids get these TikTok accounts. And then I guess they find out, like the people in charge. Who's in charge of TikTok?
China.
It's not Trump, is it?
It's China.
Didn't Trump
take it over?
He
bought it out?
He did something.
Yeah, I think he bought it out.
So anyway, they took it down, and then now they got to find ways.
Are you mad about it?
No.
See, I think Andy wants his kids to get on TikTok
No.
and like grow a huge audience. Like, I don't know if you want that, homie.
No, I didn't say that.
Because all your buddies will be looking.
Oh my God, dude!
Saw Chloe
it's
on
not
TikTok,
like
Andy.
that.
Eventually, it's going to be like that.
Mhm.
Like the bigger they get, the more dudes are going to creep them out. Like it is what it is.
So-
Unless they're doing like something, or is it TikTok stuff or her dominating in soccer? Is it TikTok? Oh no, it's her and her friends
No,
dancing.
and
So- no,
she
it's her and
does a
her
lot of soccer stuff.
Then that's
too.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
But once you start dancing, that's when you attract
So
the creeps.
Saturday night.
And you'll be at the rink.
Saturday night.
Chloe did good. That was a good one last night. Put your foot down. Put your foot down now.
Okay, all right.
Because then it's going to be Ivy. Put your foot down.
Okay, I'm just saying she got
Now.
banned.
Now.
Okay.
Trump did you a favor.
Okay, so Saturday night.
Trump's like, that's creepy. Your 12-year-old
Saturday
shouldn't be
night-
dancing with other 12-year-old girls on TikTok. That leads to creepy shit. Creepy people come out of the woodworks to follow that. Trump
So
did you a
I
solid.
had a Harry Larry Diamondback back in the day. It was a super nice BMX bike. I was a BMXer. He used to hit the half pipe. We used to do all that
You
type
did
of
a
shit.
lot of nerdy things.
not-
BMXer.
That's not nerdy at all.
Skateboarding, BMX. I'm just not into it.
Okay, well,
I'm not into it.
you just.
If you're a mountain biker and you're in Arizona going down the hills and stuff like that, I respect
I
that.
did that,
But you're going
too.
down because that's loitering too.
That was 20s. That was in the 20s.
That's cool.
Now,
in the
when I was
1920s.
no, when I was in my 20s, but when I was a kid, because when I was in my 20s, living in the mountains, man, everyone had a bike, dude. You go on the bike trails and whatever. It was awesome. Get a little dangerous at times.
Hell yeah, dude.
But it was great. But when I
Big
was a
time
kid, I
dangerous.
had a BMX bike. Now these kids nowadays, they have these electric bikes, right?
I see it. Yeah, in California.
Like
a
they're
lot.
pretty sick, like these electric bikes. So anyway, Saturday night, all these boys on these electric bikes outside my house, doing wheelies down the street, knocking on the door and like running, like a bunch of Chloe's friends coming to the front door on these electric bikes.
That's out
you
of
know?
control.
And so I go outside. She gets all mad at me for going outside because I did some shooting the shit with the boy. What's up? What are you guys doing?
Knocking on doors.
You guys want to come in? Like, don't knock on the door and
Are
just
they-
take off. What's up? So, and she thought I embarrassed her by going out there and talking to him.
If they're knocking on doors and annoying people,
Yeah.
I would be like, stop fucking doing that.
Mhm.
And you know what? If they're probably doing that, they're probably like checking that car door too. You know what I mean?
No,
like that might be.
I don't
well,
think
you're
so.
already
no,
going up.
No. You think they're automatically committing like felonies?
Hear me out. Hear me out.
They're kids, dude. You never did fun shit?
Yeah, I did, and
Okay.
I did both those.
Okay.
So yeah,
You
so
stole
call-
from cars?
Fucking check to see when you're young. Fuck yeah, dude. God yeah. Don't be so naive,
You know
brother.
what? You know what I used to do?
You're so naive.
You know-
because if you're ballsy enough to go during, I don't know what time that is, to go bang on some guy's door and scare the fucking whole house up. Because if somebody banged on my door at late night, I would,
It wasn't
Be-
late.
even if it was at 10
Early
o'clock.
evening.
Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty. What are you banging on? They're like right there. Like, what are you doing, dipshit
Chloe
kid?
told me,
Don't bother
she's
me.
like, don't answer the door. She's like, all these boys from my school are like outside the door. They're
So you
banging
don't
her.
think those kids eventually are going to be like, oh, the car door's open? Like,
Okay,
they're already on your
so
private property.
When I was in middle school,
Oh, God,
a
come
bunch
on
of,
with
a
these-
bunch
let's
of
go here.
kids would steal the emblems off of like luxury cars.
Yeah, the Mercedes, you're damn right, Jaguar.
Mercedes,
all that.
Cadillac,
Yep.
Jaguar, whatever.
That's destruction of property. That's a big deal, too.
So I never actually physically took one off a car ever. I was always scared to do that type of shit.
I didn't
dude.
like it either.
I was
went
never-
through phases, though.
Yeah, but like I was always afraid of like getting in trouble by
No
the
shit.
police, dude.
Yeah,
like
man.
you know what I mean. I wasn't ever like worried like in school and stuff like that. But police, dude, they always scared the shit out of
I
me.
got arrested
for
at 16 years old with Jordy Fox. I'll
oh,
throw
yeah,
him.
You told me.
And Jordy, his sister just passed away.
Mhm.
We're all partying in Hilltop in Eureka. I got the mayor of Eureka's son with me. We're partying.
You told the story
We're
before,
doing,
yeah.
and we got arrested, and the cops still there. And I remember going to City Hall where the mayor at the time was in there, and they were everybody was so mad because his parents were really strict. And my dad comes in kind of laughing, like, "Okay, let's go." Nothing really happened, but we got handcuffed, and I
You
got
did?
minor possession of tobacco at the time.
handcuffed behind the back.
Nope, he put it in front.
Oh god.
I had my
That's what
St.
they do-
Louis Sting
that's what-
jacket on.
That's what they do for women.
No, he was cool.
No, but
I go-
that's how they arrest
I had-
women, dude.
No, whatever.
So
Lady boy.
he's like Cam. For him, put it in
No,
the front.
I was fucking jacked, and it was so uncomfortable. He couldn't do it. So,
oh really?
yes.
He tried, and then
He's
he
like,
said,
no, you could have it in front. He was cool as shit. He still works in Eureka, but I got minor possession of tobacco. But I had other things on. We had alcohol too.
Mhm.
The guy did me a solid. I was 16 years old, but my dad always told me, wear your fucking Sting jacket,
Really?
just to show that you're an athlete. Because a lot of these kids are just fucking dipshit. Like still had something going on at the time. I was playing junior hockey, and I got fucking arrested. They didn't even know about it. Team didn't.
So then your mugshot has your hockey
Nope,
team.
no
in it?
mugshot in it. They let us go, but he gave me a minor possession of tobacco, which is not serious at the time, so it didn't stay on anything.
All right, so two more things.
I know, so it was still bad.
So first thing, so they'd steal the emblems off the car, and then we'd wear these like chains, like these necklaces with the emblems on the.
That's what gangsters do.
Yeah, I know. So I was
That's pretty cool.
pretty gangster, dude. We got
Listen-
arrested during a
Now Andy got arrested.
scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt. A couple of my friends, dude, they stole like a Pepsi machine, like from
He's got money in that.
like the whole Pepsi. They put it in the truck.
That's a
But-
high operation thing.
I know,
Would
dude.
you have a forklift?
It was on the. I don't know how they did it.
There's cash in that mug too.
Is
Always,
there? Oh yeah, of course.
You
there
could
is.
buy those bad boys. Just-
Especially back then. There's a lot of cash. You couldn't
Now-
use credit cards.
but
for that.
still, people use those machines. Like if you put it in the middle of Missouri,
Yeah.
where they still use.
Yeah.
I bet you Maddie knows. In Salem, you probably have those things everywhere still at gas stations and whatnot. You put $1.50 in there, but you could buy those.
Everyone knows that. They have them in every ice rink. and
Still?
stuff. Oh yeah.
Really?
A soda machine and
Like the
a
regular
vending
Yeah,
machine.
No, vending machine. I'm talking about the old school soda machines
Oh,
that have
yeah.
like a Pepsi on it.
Where you pick your different
You
one.
pick a Mountain
well,
Dew,
now,
Mr. Pibb.
now you like they're sophisticated.
They're
you
different
hit
now.
like C7.
But you could buy
And like
those.
this arm comes out.
I heard you make your money back quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, but a buddy of mine was like throwing shit out. We were in the back of a pickup truck. Back in the day, you could ride in the back of a pickup truck. We were throwing a bunch of shit out of the truck. So the cops
Damn
actually
Hoosier.
called our house and said, "Hey, you need to come to the police station right now, or we'll come get you." And so we drove ourselves to the police station, and at like 12:30 at night. No
That's
handcuffs,
an unbelievable
nothing
story.
like that. I've never been handcuffed in my life.
Well, don't
dude.
ever. Don't ever. Like it's a horrible thing. That was stupid what I did. I could have got
Is
fucked
that the only
over.
time you've ever been handcuffed?
Yep. I was pretty, of all the partying I did and the situations I put myself into, I did pretty good.
Okay.
I did pretty good.
Okay.
Or you would have heard about it, my
Oh
friend.
God. You see that
You would've
woman
heard about it,
who
my
got
friend.
arrested and she was like yelling at the cops. She's like, "I make $700,000 a year, you loser." And she's like in the back of the car, like kicking her feet. Like, I can't breathe. She's yelling, "I can't breathe."
Oh, that's the common thing. They're old. I can't breathe. She'll get a statue, you know.
For that,
You can't, never mind.
I did a podcast this morning. I want to give a shout out to Colby Cohen and Johnny Lazarus. They did a good job, man.
Yeah, I like
you
those
see their
guys.
shit on there.
Yeah, I see them
Um,
all the time.
And I was on with Pierre McGuire last week. I'll give Pierre a shout out too, man.
We like
They
him
were
too, man.
pumping
I
our
don't give a
tires.
fuck if people chirping him, dude. He's
Yeah.
always been good to us,
Always
man.
good.
Fuck yeah, dude. I like Pierre. A
Yeah.
little shout out, baby. What's up?
But Johnny Lazarus did not know who Cam Jansen was.
He didn't know who I was?
He just didn't know the name.
Jesus.
It escaped
He knew
him.
Andy and not me? That's god awful.
He actually knew, but it escaped him. He said he was at the game when you fought the Rangers off the draw. So it just escaped him. You ever have that happen?
These hockey
happens
fans,
to me all the time, dude. You forget somebody's name.
It doesn't happen to me much, but that's okay.
It doesn't?
That they know your name? Hockey guy? I don't know. Not really.
Well, sometimes that can happen. What, are you taking it personal?
I didn't.
It was an accident.
See, Andy
he
tries to
knows
set me
who
up to get
you
mad.
are, and
That's
like
all
now,
good.
don't get mad about
Andy,
it.
I forget names like you can't believe.
Well,
It's
you just
actually
said you don't.
It's a bad. I thought people don't forget my name. I said in the hockey world that
really?
much, to be completely honest with you.
Sometimes you can. You
Yeah,
can think,
no doubt.
You know,
And I'm not mad
he's
at
not
that.
from St. Louis. He's not from.
Yeah,
You know, he's
you
like
know.
could be Cam Neely. Could be a lot of.
Could be
different
Cam. Yeah, could be Mark Jansen's. You know, there's a couple.
They
there's a
were
couple
asking me
things.
some questions about
Anytime there's something like that happens, though, he's definitely going to bring it up. It probably wasn't even that big of a deal.
Well, no, this was a big deal.
You know,
Very big deal. Yeah, he didn't know Cam's name.
it's all right.
Yeah,
I didn't do enough.
But then
for
he
him.
remembered.
He likes reporters, not players.
Then he remembered it. They were asking about how this dynamic's going to work with Steiner and Army once Army takes over.
Oh God, I don't know.
I'm like, listen, Army.
When Steiner takes over,
Yeah, when Steiner takes over.
he's just gonna have to do his thing, man, and fucking.
Steiner's
learn.
never been a GM before, so it's still going to be like it's going to be a two-headed monster.
He's still watching Army every second of the day. He's in every goddamn meeting, like he's figuring out the game a little bit. But
yeah.
you're gonna have to get punched in the face here and there.
But
by the
as long
fans
as
and stuff,
Army's
you know.
there, I think he's going to have a lot to say. Just like you see the
Yeah.
situation in Vancouver, you see Montreal. Eventually, the keys will be handed over, and Steiner's going to have an opportunity to run the organization. He's going to want to make some decisions. I bet you Army will let him make some decisions.
Yeah.
For sure. But he's still going to be president of hockey, so everything's going to go through Army, you know?
Well, Steiner's gonna be set up in a nice situation here in St. Louis with all these young kids, man. The Blues are
is
freaking
he not leaving
dominant.
him in a great
Oh
spot?
my God! Look at this Blues team. Like, they're really good.
Army
man.
always said like he wanted to leave the organization better than it was when he got it. And Army took
It's like
over
a president.
an organization that had a bunch of little toys too. Like he had the Oshis.
Yeah, they were
Perrons
rocking
and
and
the
rolling,
Petros
baby.
and
You're
Eric
damn
Johnson.
right.
And he
Yep.
made some moves right off the bat. He traded EJ, brought in Shattenkirk and Chris Stewart, which
I was on the plane when that happened.
was a good trade, you know, at the time. It worked out. Shatty became a star player here. Chris Stewart had a couple real good seasons here.
Well, like, look at Army's tenure.
And they made some other moves too, you know, with some other guys. But like he, you know, Oshie, obviously he traded him, but he inherited a good situation.
Totally, man.
And Larry Plow left him behind in a good spot. You know what I mean?
And Larry went through a lot of different. Larry went through the worst of the worst, and probably not in Blues history, because you can go back to the 70s. I think they were really bad. But that 2005-2006 team, when they got back from the lockout, and Mike Sillinger was their leading scorer. God, look at the stats on that with like 46 points. I think they won 11 games that year. And I remember playing for the Devils coming in. There's 12,000 people there. That was not in a good situation. And then Larry Plow drafted damn good. I mean, you know, maybe you could look at the EJ situation. That all worked out eventually. But you had some damn good players. You took advantage of it. Then you weren't great, but we had all these young kids that the fans started coming back in. You started packing the house. Yeah, tickets were cheap, but then you started really building, and they were dominant for a while with that, you know, with Backus and Osh, and David Perron was doing this thing. He was a lot older, and Petra was in the mix, and Brian Elliott, and I don't know. They were in a damn good spot, especially when Army took over, and then you went through a couple different lulls, and now you're back at it where the buzz is big in St. Louis right now.
Yeah.
It is, man. People are pumped up.
No, the Blues have always had great people in charge of the amateur side. Like, they haven't really had a bad draft in quite some time.
No doubt.
I mean, Yarmo was really good for a long time. Billy
he
Armstrong was unbelievable.
Really good.
Yarmo was great before him. I remember when he drafted Oshie, and, like, they were just killing his selection.
And you're like,
This is way too early to draft TJ Oshie. And Yarmo says to me, tell all these
do you think?
people,
He's cool.
come see me in 5 years.
No shit. You mean the most popular player in Blues history besides probably Brett Hall?
I wouldn't be surprised if TJ Oshie winds up back here in the organization.
Yeah.
You know, he's tight with a lot of people that are still here.
Paulie Stastny too, and
Oh yeah, well, Paulie Stastny's he may be doing some stuff already.
yeah.
He'll
know
be
gonna in the
he'll be
mix.
working here.
I hope so, man. I love him.
See
I love the Stasnys. Those are
Yeah.
our people right there.
You'll see a lot of these.
I love to
guys.
see Yanni back here. I know he's in Colorado. I think he's scouting in Colorado. Jan Stasny. Loved him so much. So
I'm trying to see. If
what are you
you're-
looking at, man?
you're
Goddamn,
you
you're
said the
over
Blues won 11 games that year.
in 05, 06. Yeah, look that up.
I mean, I just
What
don't know.
does it say?
If that's
13, 20, maybe? I don't know.
If that can be.
They were really, really bad. They were really bad. Look it up, Andy. All you gotta do is press it in Google.
I'm looking right here.
Well, what's it say? God,
St.
damn.
Louis, they won 21 games that year.
My bad. 21. It's god awful.
That was pretty bad.
I mean, come on.
But
what
they
are we
were
doing?
last.
They were terrible.
And then they
And
had the
got
first
EJ.
overall pick. And
They got EJ over a couple guys, Jonathan Tays and whatnot. But
Yeah.
you know,
Did you watch any college hockey over the weekend?
no, I didn't. But I got Jimmy Dowd texting me off the hook right now, baby. I love you, Jimmy
I
Dowd.
watched this little boy play for Penn State. Did a
Penn
good job.
State, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
What was the difference between Penn and Jay Pandolfo? A little shout out to
Jay Pandolfo's son, who I think is a 2000, I don't know what he is, 2009 maybe.
Yeah.
Is like one of the best players in the country.
skill wise, like
Like,
quick.
he'll go to the national team development program. Like he's really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've never really seen him play, but people have just been raving about it. Jay Pandolfo's son.
Yeah.
So,
Damn it.
Freddie Meyer, remember him?
Freddie Meyer played for Philly, didn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I'm going off of you. You've been wrong a lot this morning. So you
On
have
what?
the Blues record and
Oh,
some
get
different
outta here with
things. So Freddie Meyer,
They
I'll
won
have to
21 games.
I'll have
Andy.
to double check that. But his
And he acts
son's,
like they went to the playoffs.
his son's really good too, man.
Freddie Meyer, yeah, man.
yeah.
Played for the Phantoms too.
There's a bunch of these guys, man. NHL, you think it's more in the NHL than other sports where their kids just end up being?
There's a lot in baseball too.
Is there?
I see it. Bonds, the Guerrero Jr.
You know how
the
hard
boom,
it is
boom,
to be
boom, boom,
great in baseball? Like
Yeah,
everyone
hitting the
plays
ball.
baseball.
Hitting a ball.
Yeah, but like think about the competition. Like everyone plays baseball.
Yeah, you can go outside and just play baseball right now if you wanted to.
And like, Central America and
Yeah.
I know a lot about the baseball down in the Dominican and whatnot. And
What's Dominican attached to? What country?
is it Puerto Rico?
Good one. What else do you know about it?
Is it? Was that right?
No.
What is it?
Haiti.
Oh shit. Is that where
We
Haiti
already, I
is?
just talked about that last week and you still didn't.
No, we didn't talk about the connection there between.
I gave you a
Dominican-
quiz last week.
What's
and you
the
didn't know.
hardest sport to make it?
The hardest sport to play is hockey by a
No,
mile.
What's the hardest sport
To make?
to
Probably
make it.
basketball.
Okay.
Probably basketball. You
Because
got to be
12
6'9"
players on every roster.
Yeah, you got to be 6'9". You're going against the best athletes in the world by a mile. Hockey is the hardest sport to play. Damn good athletes. But when you're 6'9" and you could jump 20 feet, you're the best athlete in the world. You could play anything. if
Freddie
you wanted
Meyer
to.
played a little bit in Philly, yeah, but I remember him from the Islanders mostly.
So if you take a basketball player and you, as a kid, when you know he's going to be 6'9" and a gigantic athlete, and you start skating him at 2 years old instead of playing basketball, he's going to be a freak athlete. But if you take a hockey player and you start making him play basketball at a young age, he's not even come close to the NBA because the size difference.
See, I don't know how to tell.
NBA is probably the hardest sport to make.
Football is hard too.
Yeah, but there's 50 guys, man. Shit, I know guys that we did radio with that almost made the damn team. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Football, man, you could be in a goddamn special teams and just fucking go out there and hit a guy here and there.
I know.
Andy almost made it. If only Andy played one NFL game, just like he almost made an NHL too. You'd be way farther in life.
Yeah, I played a little cornerback and wide receiver.
Quarterback.
I was really fast at a young age.
See, that's where we.
I peaked athletically
What,
at
9?
like 5 years old.
Yeah. That's what I want out of you. That's all.
No, I really did.
That's all I wanted.
Like I was the
That's
best.
all
I was
wanted.
the best athlete at,
God,
at 5 years old.
Sometimes I gotta be such a dick, but that's all I wanted.
Uh-huh. At
You're
five,
right.
At
You're
5 years old, I was
You're
like
probably unbelievable.
I was
in the
I had
playground.
older brothers and everything.
Yeah.
I was the best player like on every team.
And then it just stopped. Because why?
It
you
stopped
didn't grow.
at like 12.
You're not a big guy.
At like 12.
You're not strong. Like your body, that's when your peak was whenever you're 5 years old. And you probably dominated the schoolyard, man.
Yeah.
High fiving everybody like Andy.
First place in all the track and field
all the
events.
track and then
Like the school field
then
day, you know?
guys start hitting puberty and they're like getting bigger and you just fell down and you're like, God damn. Dude, you were 100 pounds
Couldn't
in
run
high
with some
school.
of
That's
these guys.
terrible. Were you confident
Oh yeah.
at 100 pounds in high school? Because I know guys that were really small in high school and they're like, fuck, I couldn't talk to girls. Like I was fucking,
Oh no, I
you know,
wasn't
all
like
these big swinging dicks are walking by in the wrestling team and stuff. And you're just kind
the
of
wrestling team. Cam thinks it's like the hallways of like Saved by the Bell or something.
Fucking wrestlers with a shit. They all played football too. The
Yeah.
wrestlers played football. It's all
Wrestlers
coexist.
weren't like the cool guys in my school, but like a lot
They
of
were
the,
in Eureka,
a lot of
baby.
the football players.
The
did-
wrestlers and
did
the football
wrestle,
players.
but
Wrestlers and
one-
football players.
no one knew if you wrestled or not. It wasn't like no one paid attention to it. Like, did you go to the wrestling matches?
Fuck,
and
I
watch?
wrestled.
Okay, my brother wrestled. My older
It's,
brother.
it's the most hardcore thing going, dude.
No, I'll give.
You're going
listen,
fucking toe to toe, and the wrestlers could beat up everybody in the whole school. So yeah, man, they
okay,
rolled the roost.
I always gave.
And he doesn't look at it like that.
No, I
they
always
were banging
gave
all
the-
the hot chicks. The
No,
football
they
part-
weren't.
Not at your school. You didn't even know about any
Like
of that. You
offensive
weren't even thinking
linemen,
that
they
way.
all like wrestled.
Andy was riding his BMX bike. We were thinking about vagina the whole time. What can you do to be cool to get that girl walking down the fucking hallway? I'm wrestling. I want to be a fucking shit kicker. I want to play football. I got to be an athlete. I got to do this. Goddamn
Okay,
right.
football players are different.
They did the same thing. It's the same guys in the listen. It's different seasons. Do you not get that?
Let me tell you this though. And I would see the wrestlers like running in the morning, but wearing a fur
Badass.
coat, like
They're all cut up.
in the swimming pool trying to make weight.
Dude,
and shit, dude.
yeah.
Okay,
I started
like,
chewing.
the wrestling mentality. And let me just say this: one of my favorite events that I've ever covered in my career has been the wrestling national championships. I remember when I was assigned to go do it years ago. I really wasn't excited to spend my weekend covering this event, and I went there, and I'm seeing like the emotions that these wrestlers and their families and the fans go through with each round,
Hardcore, man.
every match, and seeing the how dejected
One-on-one.
these kids were when
Yeah.
they would lose. They'd bash their forehead into a cement wall and
Well,
just punch cement walls.
This is what
They could get absolutely crazy, dude.
I know.
They were crazy. But the football players when I was in high school, it wasn't like that, man. It was like, I mean, the wrestlers, a lot of the offensive linemen would like wrestle, but like the quarterback wasn't wrestling, the running back wasn't wrestling.
Ours was. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Some of the wrestlers,
I would say this is why wrestling's awesome, is because it's one-on-one, man. And when you do lose, it is a horrific feeling.
horrific.
You are in a singlet with your little wee-wee hanging out. Imagine little Andy in high school, 100 pounds with his little dinghy hanging out. Like, I'm here to wrestle you. No wonder you didn't do it. It's fucking hardcore.
Well, they're not wrestling. You're wrestling against guys in the same weight class.
Yeah, no doubt. But I remember being in a singlet, dude, and all the cheerleaders are there in the stands, and they're watching you, and you're going one-on-one with this fucking other guy, and like you get put in positions where your fucking sticks hanging out. Like, it's just fucking embarrassing. But when you win, you look like a man. Like, it's just was a
Nobody's
fucking cool
there.
thing.
Not at our school. Like
Not
if
at-
you,
we're not
like
talking
the
about your
football
school,
and
Andy.
basketball cheerleaders.
Andy didn't hang out with the cheerleaders. Let's be completely honest.
They were not wrestling.
cheerleaders weren't even the
they
hot
weren't they weren't the wrestling cheerleaders.
The hot girls were called Golden Line, which my girl did. Kate did. Golden Line. That was the hottest girls in Eureka.
No, we had the Bikettes.
Yeah, like it's like they had out. They're all decked
Yeah.
out in
Oh,
makeup,
yeah.
and
No,
they're
they were
they're
hot.
actually really
They
talented.
were hot.
They were the hot ones.
Oh yeah.
So, Andy
Yeah.
probably hung out with them all the time.
You know, it's funny. Everything goes full circle. But when we got in trouble by the cops for throwing stuff out of the back of the truck, I got sentenced to 25 hours of community service, and I did my community service at the wrestling mats, at the wrestling meets, working in the concession stand, because the athletic director was cool as shit. He's like, just come do this, and he would like lie about how many hours we served and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't throw trash out of back of a pickup truck.
Okay, it wasn't
Yeah.
trash.
I mean, that's
Just throwing shit
Andy
at
acts like I'm a
cars.
Hoosier. That's the fucking dumbest thing in the world.
Dude, well, you do dumb shit when you're a kid, man.
I know, man. Vandalize like that shit. Like I look back on it, I'm like, oh my god, if I was a fucking if that was my house, I'd kill you.
Mhm.
Like I'd kill you. Somebody vandalized.
I know.
If
dude.
somebody, I told you that one kid
That's
did.
how I feel right now.
I told you that one fucking kid did, and I threatened his dad. He threw a fucking bricks. Him and his buddies were throwing bricks at houses in St. Albans. And his dad.
Oh my god.
His dad went door to door and apologized.
With the kid?
No. But I go,
Where's
he
the
can't-
kid?
Don't know. I go, it's exactly what I asked him. I go, how old is he? And he said 18. I go, what the fuck is he doing?
Okay, I wasn't doing that at 18. dude.
18, you're doing, I want, you know what, at 18. Like, that's all you're thinking about.
Mhm.
Do you think girls are like, I like it when you throw bricks into fucking houses. Are you out of your, and I told him, I go, if he did that to me
Mhm.
at 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. When I'm going to come after you.
Mhm.
Like, you better get control of that fucking kid. He's 18 doing this shit.
One time when
He
I
was
was
actually a really
when
nice
I was
guy.
when I was a kid, somebody threw a brick through our window. A brick, and my mom. It was just my mom and my siblings there.
Scary.
I remember my mom, like, they called the cops. She's like
Yoink!
in a robe outside talking to the police. They throwing bricks through the window.
Yeah, I don't. You're gonna get killed. You're gonna get shot by somebody out there, dude. And
Nowadays,
if you,
you would.
you broke my window at 2 o'clock in the morning, like I'm gonna try to kill you.
Would
probably.
you?
Yeah.
You'd shoot somebody?
If they were right there, you think you're threatened, man. Now, you can't
I
just.
think you'd go to jail for that.
You would. But I don't know how I'm gonna react to my fucking. Somebody's throwing bricks. Like I think they're gonna come around the house and try to rob me and hold me up. Like you would think that's what you would think. And he's probably like, don't worry about it. Like you're throwing bricks through windows. Like you
See, that's the
you're
type
rolling
of
the
shit.
dice, dude.
I wouldn't do that when I was a kid.
Now that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not throwing bricks through people's windows.
We did wild shit. So always, even if you think your kids, my kid would never do that. My kid would, dude. I remember hanging out with kids where their mom and dad thought they were the most wholesome, pure soul, and I'm thinking, you
have
guys
no idea.
have no idea what your son's doing.
I know
you have no idea what your son's
a very prominent hockey player.
Remember
here,
Seth?
Here in town. Oh yeah,
That kind of
that's
thing.
what Seth would do.
I'm just saying, your parents. I can't
very
believe it.
prominent-
There's bones in his basement.
So I have a sibling or a niece, and
A little too much story time,
The
I
kids
think.
were all like partying and whatever.
Yeah.
And parents got worked up. It was at somebody's house, and a prominent figure here in town, athlete, called my sister-in-law and was like, everyone was drinking except my son. My son was the only one that wasn't drinking.
He's probably
It's like,
snorting
you
yak.
just have no idea.
You have no idea.
You have no idea.
Not my son. He's pure. We found Jesus. Oh, you did?
Oh,
So
you
did
did.
I back in the day. I invited him into my heart,
Me too.
and that was a long time ago. And look at the shit I did.
At church camp.
Yeah, me too. They were like this. "Oh!" I remember being there, and I just, my neighbors and my brothers looking at me like, Mom and Dad are going to be so pissed. It was and the guy brings me up, and he's like, you invite Jesus in your heart?
my
And
God.
I go, yes! And my brother's like, oh my God. And I did, and I felt unbelievable.
Yeah, I did the same.
I felt unbelievable.
Same thing after I won.
swear to God.
After I won the camp ping pong tournament, playing up in a
You've
division.
done some cool things.
I played up in a division
Andy
too.
worked
Up
the
in an
concession
age
stand.
group.
He rode the BMX bike, and now I
Dude,
kinda,
I ran the.
I'm not chirping you anymore.
I ran the concession stand at
Were
Creek
you
baseball fields
bullied
for
in high
several.
school, Andy?
Never.
I'm not chirping you anymore. I don't-
Never.
Wow. I
Dude,
kind of feel bad for you
Don't
now.
you understand?
You were 100 pounds. Did you not have?
Everyone
when
was
did you
100.
get facial?
Everyone was 100 pounds.
Can you grow
their
a
freshman
can
year
you-
of high school?
Not me. I was
100.
171. I wrestled 171 in high school.
You were
my
as a
freshman year.
freshman.
171, and I moved
Well,
up to
you-
189. Got my ass kicked.
So you're the same size in high school, like as a 15-year-old. Like you
I
were
was 15,
170.
171. Yeah.
I wasn't. I bet you 98% of our
Did you get
listeners.
bullied?
Never, dude.
God, I feel now. Maddie, man, you
ni-
had.
98% of our listeners were not 170 pounds as freshmen in high
I was
school.
a freak.
Okay, well then, that's on you.
100 pounds in high school.
Well, I wasn't
That's-
100.
Oh, how much were you when you were a
like
junior?
110, 115.
That's
as a
tiny.
junior.
No, dude, you were tiny.
No,
You're still 150.
Junior, I got up to probably 135, 140.
No, you didn't. I
Sure I
don't
did.
believe it. I saw your fucking pictures of Andy, and he could post them again. Look at how little he is. That's
wasn't
tough.
that little.
That must be tough, though. I look at that, man. I know a couple other guys that are really, really small in high school. Like, it's tough to have confidence. If you wrestle and you're 125 or 110 and you're fucking penning guys, maybe you have a little bit more spaz or, like just swag to you when
Nobody's
you walk.
paying attention. Nobody's watching the wrestlers.
But Andy was.
Hey, what do you do?
Andy
I'm a
was
wrestler.
100
Oh, I would
pounds.
never know. I know no one watches.
He worked the concession stand while everybody else was doing athletic things. I felt I'm
I
not
had
chirping you anymore.
Community service to do.
I'm not chirping you anymore.
We had
My
community.
bad,
we had
dude.
community service. But my brothers and I, we
Man.
ran the local baseball field association
All right, we're getting too
for
much
several
story time.
several
Andy's story
summers in
time.
a row, and like we would be in charge of cutting all the grass, chalking the lines, putting the bases out.
Yeah, for the athletes.
And I ran the concession stand also. Okay, and so
I'm not- I'm
buddies
done.
would come up. Hold on, you're gonna like this.
Oh, I
Buddies
bet.
buddies would come up, and I'd be giving out free shit all the time, Big League Chew and whatever, nachos, hot dogs.
Do you see? I feel bad for this young kid, Celebrini. Like, they just get shit kicked
Mhm.
by the Rangers. Shit kicked, 6-8-1, whatever it was. And then the Rangers are leaving on their bus, and they run right into his car, his Range Rover.
Wasn't that big a deal. A little paint damage.
It's still a pay. You still
Yeah.
got to get that fixed. And your insurance says take care of it. He's got the money. It's all good. But it's just kind of like, fuck you. We just shit kicked you. And now our bus doesn't even stop. And the video of him, he's just like, God damn it. Like walks out. It's pretty funny.
They almost ran over another player too. They almost hit like
Really?
a player who was standing out there.
That would have been a problem.
But how's the bus getting that close to the car where he just?
You ever been on a bus that goes
Yeah,
down
it
these
goes
tunnels?
down. And
Have
they-
you been?
dude, the way
It's
those bus drivers
unbelievable.
reverse it down there and shit,
Andy,
it's incredible.
We're all every time this happens, and like Washington D.C. is really bad because you're right in the middle
and
of
they're
downtown.
going down a ramp.
You're
and
going down
shit.
the ramp. It's like this close. You're like,
I
good
know,
God,
I
all
know.
these turns, man. Some of these turns. We were in Edmonton, and if you know Edmonton, it's a really long drive all the way. Then you go up on this cliffside.
But you get out outside though, right?
You get up on this cliffside in Edmonton, and it shows, and you'd have to go down where the river valley is, and it shows all of like this huge fucking gorge. And you get up there, and there's a huge U-turn, where if you kept going, you're fucking 500 feet donezo. This bus driver, little snowy. He's like, I'm like, whoa. And if you know, if you're in Edmonton, and nothing happened, boom, right down. I'm like, God,
Dude, they're
damn,
skilled
boy.
drivers, man. They're very skilled.
Really skilled. You got to get your license and stuff.
Yeah, that's like a
your
class
whatever.
C or whatever.
Yeah.
But
and
dude,
they can only
you'll
last
see
for 8
them
hours
like go in reverse, like
me. Like, God damn. Like, there's people everywhere.
I know, going down these little ramps and
Yeah.
shit.
The weirdest one is the goddamn Brooklyn rink in New York, which they don't use anymore. But people just fucking everywhere. And the bus is like, then you go in an elevator and it spins you around. You got to back up in this fucking really, really weird.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to do that, man, especially around New York.
Could you imagine if I was driving one of those buses, dude? I would
And
be
you'd be like this.
sideswiping everybody.
Tweet.
I'd be
People would die.
tweeting while
People
I'm.
would die.
Oh my god!
People would die.
Don't put that on me
You're in charge
really
of a lot of
shouldn't
people.
say,
And you
"Oh."
tweeting like that and driving.
while I'm driving the bus.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was funny.
Celebrini, man. I hope his car is okay though.
He's fine.
They just had dinner.
It's just funny how you get
They had a
shit
big
kicked.
dinner at Patrick Marleau's house because Will Smith is living with Patrick Marleau, and you've got Celebrini living with Jumbo,
That's cool.
and you had the Toronto Maple Leafs in town. So Marner and Matthews and Jumbo and everybody came over to Marleau's house for dinner. You know,
That nice big ass house and fucking.
he always
remember
has like massive
he
houses.
made a ton of money. He made a ton of money.
Ton of money.
Whew, played a long time. He's got that fucking badass house looking over the ocean.
You playing again next year, Marleau?
Why are we
How
gonna
many
keep going?
games away am I?
Is there any records you can?
from Gordie Howe? Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing. We're gonna sign you for another year.
I told you I like him, but
We
it's just
had
like,
him on, dude. I think you weirded him out a little
Why?
bit. I just remember that.
It's always me, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's never Andy with anything.
We were asking him some he wasn't
He's
comfortable.
Christian.
Like he had never.
He
went through his entire
religious.
career without ever being asked like a tough question.
What did we ask? I forgot.
Like
that was a long time. ago.
Roenick bashed him and shit. We brought some of that
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
He didn't want to get into that. He's like, well, oh no, it's fine. It's everything.
No, he bashed you.
Yeah, I was like, he didn't like that. I kind of felt bad because he's a very pure individual.
Yeah, but still though, like talk about it. You know
I
what I
know.
mean? Like
like, how'd you feel?
like you've done a lot. Like
Yeah, did that bother you?
no, it didn't. It would have bothered me.
Jeremy Roenick's like, you'll never win with this guy. He's not a winner.
Oh, JR.
I remember asking JR at the Stanley Cup final.
Dude, he doesn't give a fuck.
I think it was 2011 Boston, Vancouver. And I went up to him, and I'm like, dude, you kind of bashed Patrick Marleau, and he like broke it down, like why he said what he said. They didn't like backtrack at all.
No, when he says stuff, man, and like he's just honest about it. Like ask him, he'll be like, hey,
Yeah.
here it is. He's just ballsy to talk
Okay.
about it. But
Maybe sometimes people say things that others are thinking,
yeah,
but they
Sometimes
don't
you-
want to say themselves.
But a lot of times you can't do that.
But those teams in San Jose were great for many years, man.
Yeah, for a long
and
time.
they went to a Stanley Cup final.
But they didn't win. But they're going to be good here coming up.
But if you go to a Stanley Cup final,
It's pretty good.
and the core of your group who's been great and leading the charge for several years, and you get to a final, there's still something to be said for that.
Yeah, I know, but
And they got to some conference finals too.
they just didn't win though. That sucks. With those
Mhm.
teams,
Yeah, Joe Thornton
tough, man.
never won.
never won. Played a long time. Tried to chase it at the end.
Yeah.
Never figured. That just shows, man. Like God,
It's
you could play
hard to
20
win.
years and still like fucking. And anybody will just pick you up for $750 or whatever and put you in a spot.
You know what's
and you
hard to
still
win?
Never
is
find.
that Frozen Four, dude. They got to expand the field or something.
Really?
Well, it's like you only have 16 teams get in, so it's like the top 16 teams. So if you're a number one seed, sometimes you're a number one seed, you're not even playing close to your school. You got to travel. Like there's no home ice advantage. A 16 seed, the 16th best team in the country, can definitely beat the top team in the country. You know what I mean? Like Michigan State goes down. I'm just not into it's different because the Frozen Four is going to be here. I didn't want to see a bunch of
No name.
I wanted
teams?
the Blue Bloods.
Yeah, dude. That's
here.
what they want in
I want
college
the
basketball
I want
too.
the big dogs.
We all want the big
I think
dogs.
it's cool that Quinnipiac can win a championship and like Union and all these different.
Yeah.
I
Is
want-
Union in New York?
Yeah, Uniondale, I think.
I
Right?
think it's by Albany, maybe?
Maybe.
RICA.
I
or
want
something.
Michigan, Boston College,
Nodak.
North Dakota
Wisconsin.
didn't even get in. They fired their coach. They
Yeah.
just hired a new coach. Wisconsin gets. They're not even ever any good. They haven't been good in several
What's
years.
the
now.
southernmost?
I don't know. I don't get it with Wisconsin. All you Badger fans, let me know.
What's
Why can't you like get it together?
What's the
It's a
best
great school to go
college
to.
hockey team that's in the southernmost part of the United States?
In the southernmost part.
Of the United States, what's the best hockey team? Is that a weird question? I'm just curious.
God. Yeah, because most of them are out east or.
Yeah.
I
Is
mean,
there
Arizona
anything in the
State's in the Southwest.
Okay, Arizona State could be. People want to go there. I bet
Mhm.
you they attract even players that maybe would go to
Yeah,
a
they
Blue
should be
Blood.
good. They should be good.
So Arizona State. But anything else? Like
Well, like
maybe in Illinois anywhere? Or
no, there's no
Indiana, nothing?
No, there's no D1.
Ohio State.
Miami of Ohio. Ohio
Okay.
State.
Nashville, nothing around there?
No, nothing in
I'm just
Tennessee.
asking.
Nothing in Mississippi. Nothing in Alabama.
What about down east?
Nothing in Texas. Nothing in Florida.
Nope.
Nothing in Carolina.
Nothing in Missouri yet?
Nothing in
So
the
Lindenwood, maybe.
nothing in the Carolinas.
Okay.
It's only like a handful of states.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm asking. Interesting.
That produce college hockey
I
teams.
just haven't paid attention.
We need
too
more
much.
college hockey teams.
I agree. I mean, they're there. They just have to be good.
A lot of club teams. A lot of the traditional Power
Lindenwood
Five.
Club team, baby. They're still partying. I'm getting messages from all you motherfuckers. I know y'all listen. They're partying with that goddamn thing down in St. Louis. I go, be careful.
A lot of the
Be careful.
Power Five schools that you see like play football and basketball, they don't have Division I hockey
Yeah, I know.
teams.
No, I know.
I want to
What
see
about Washington?
Washington State.
Yeah. They got anything good
No
over there?
D1 hockey team,
Interesting.
but they've got some
Just
decent.
asking.
They've got some decent hockey up there. The one, they're close to Vancouver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll be going there next week.
I don't think it's great hockey, but I think it's gotten better.
I'll be going there next week, walking over heroin needles with children.
I like Seattle, dude. I think Seattle's a beautiful
We
city.
have 2 days off there again.
It's a
I'm gonna
beautiful
go cruise.
city.
I'm gonna go creep
Oh,
around.
go cruise around.
I always
Go
do,
walk
baby.
down by
I'm
the
gonna get
water,
some fucking
man.
oysters.
Go down to the market. Go
Goddamn
walk
right.
down the.
Damn good food.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's heroin needles.
You know what? We were just there last summer.
Heroin needles.
And I didn't see a lot of that, dude. You see some of that, but like they try to keep the riffraff away as much as
There's
they can.
shit everywhere
There
in
is,
Seattle.
But I didn't.
There's no
I thought
way
it was way worse in Vancouver.
No, not what I've noticed. I walked around Seattle for 2 days last time we were there. Now we're going there for
Yeah.
another 2 days.
No, it's
I
all
will
over.
video it
It's
and
all
send
over.
it to you. It's
I know,
unbelievable.
But I will say, I thought Vancouver was worse,
I didn't. Vancouver's bad too.
dude.
You're right,
Vancouver
Andy.
is terrible.
It's not good, dude, with that
No.
shit. Come on in.
Come on in,
Come on in here.
like it's David Koresh.
Come on in. Jesus, David Koresh.
Oh my God.
See, that's what Andy'd be like, hey, what? I want your wife and your daughter.
And
And,
you're
and I'm going to do you the deed
Oh
of
my
making love
God,
with them.
David,
Handsome guy.
don't talk like
He was
that.
a handsome guy.
Freaks me out.
You imagine being that brainwashed? Where he's making
No.
love, he's smashing your wife
Oh
in
my
the other
God.
room, impregnating
You
her.
don't have to like
And
take it
he's
to that
just-
extent.
That's exactly what happened.
That is not what he's doing to my wife.
Maddie, what the fuck? He was smashing wives and daughters.
Oh, I know he was.
While they were fucking
Did he go to
cuckolded.
jail?
I think he died
die in a
in the
fire?
fire in Waco, homeboy. Waco. Now the other guy,
Crazy shit's happened
other
down
guy-
in Waco, dude.
the other guy though. Remember the other guy in Africa that wasn't bounced around and he gave him all the Kool-Aid?
Oh,
Just like when Mike Jefferson Danton makes a quote when I was there in 2002, I'm not drinking loose Kool-Aid. I
Mm-hmm.
never knew what that meant. And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh, that was that crazy motherfucker that had all these
yeah,
kids.
but he's
fucking-
not smart enough to think that.
That's where he got the, oh, I bet he is.
I bet you he was just,
My
I'm
dad-
just not drinking his Kool-Aid.
You don't just say that
Yeah,
without
I think
noticing.
he- I
That's
don't
where it
think he's-
came
I
from.
don't think he's referring
You
to
don't-
the African.
But that's what that quote is from.
Okay, but I don't
You
think.
don't think he knew that?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No. And I covered that story pretty closely.
You know, you wouldn't have known that.
No.
No.
And that line
That was a
never came
big
up.
deal. That was a big deal.
I'll tell you the greatest line, though, during that story was Mike Jefferson's dad, Steve Jefferson. He changed his name to Mike Danton because they had a hockey school and there was a kid named Danton who went to the school. And Mike, I guess, had a relationship with the kid and the family and whatever. And so he changed his last name to get away from his family So I guess he could have picked any name to change his last name to from Jefferson, and he chose Danton because of this kid that went to a hockey school where he was like a counselor or something at the school.
Interesting.
So, but his dad, I remember sitting in his living room, and his dad said, "You see that swamp in my backyard?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "David Frost could tell you that swamp is a field of wildflowers, and you believe him."
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. Oh, he'd
No, I
own
wouldn't.
you.
No,
He'd be
I
like,
wouldn't.
"Cam, come to Quinty with
I
me."
can't get hypnotized. I can't do any of that bullshit.
He'd
I knew fucking right off the. I'd beat his fucking ass. And some tough guys could beat his ass and still get got. There's tough guys that get fucking got from that, dude.
Dude,
I'm not one of them.
Some of these guys who, like Ryan Barnes, was a first or second round pick of Detroit. He's an agent now.
Yeah.
He's got. I think he's got somebody on the Blues too. He's an agent. Erskine, John Erskine, right? This guy was under his umbrella for a little
I
bit.
bet you he didn't get
Sheldon Keefe was like, if it could
got. He
happen,
did get got.
big time.
I don't think John Erskine did.
He
In
got
fact,
away.
I want to get him on.
Johnny Erskine got
That's
away.
my boy.
Johnny Erskine got away.
Yeah, he's like, go fuck yourself. I'm not playing that
but
game.
not until after the fact.
But there's not saying that you're not strong. It's just I grew up. My dad and my mom were good about that kind of stuff, and I didn't have that. But if I didn't have my mom and dad, that motherfucker might have got me. He might have.
But you
He
never
got
know.
fucking Theo. They got different guys. Fleury. You got all these different. There's more than you think.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to imply that there was any type of like sexual misconduct going on.
But
like
to
Theo
believe,
Fleury.
well, yeah, that's in a different category. I'm just saying, like, just to be under your thumb, whether it's sexual
no, to
stuff.
like take you away from
Take
your
you away
family,
from your family.
and like
You
you're
listen to-
living with this guy.
You listen to me, not your family. Me only. You listen to me. Everything me. Just like David Koresh, just like all these guys, they're manipulative. And some guys, I don't care how tough you are, if you don't have a dad, you don't have something that goes on in that family.
or the dream gets in the way of the reality of the
There it is.
situation. I think that's
It could
what it
get
is, man.
you.
These agents, you get a freak agent who says, "I will get your kid to the National Hockey League." And that's what the dream is. In a lot of cases, more so for the parents than it is for the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, so then now you start trusting this guy, and you think this guy has your kid's best interest, and he is the best thing to ever come along for your kid. I look at it like having a kid. I couldn't imagine a guy coming up to me at a rink and being like, "Your kid's going to come live with me." And although I see it all the time, though, Cam, I see some of these coaches around the country who billet all these kids.
Well, I mean,
And so some of them, there's a
what
lot
age are we talking?
these guys are teenagers. They were
like
teenagers
13,
at the time.
14?
Yeah.
But if you play somewhere and you have to go live with a billet to go play in a, like,
Yeah, but the
I don't
coach
know.
is a billet, and he's got 4 or 5 kids living there.
Some of them are really
Some
good,
of them are
dude.
really good
Yeah.
people, man.
So you just
You got
you
to
gotta
be
do
able
your
to
homework,
filter it out.
and you got to do your homework. Nowadays, everything's out there.
Like when your kid stops calling you and stops talking to you,
Or
and when the
disagrees with
agent
everything.
says, "Don't talk to him, you can't talk to him,
There
you
it
can't do this,"
is.
starts trying to set ground rules for you,
There it
the type
is.
of relationship you
Like
can
a
have with
parent.
your kid, that's when you got to intervene.
Like he's
man.
your parent instead of
Right,
your parents being your
right.
parents, and then all of a sudden you call your son, and you're like, "Hey, no, let's do this," and they're like, "No, we're doing this." Like, whoa, wait a minute, you're 13. You're not 17, 18 where you're leaving and you start making money. No, you're 13. You're still my baby.
Right.
You get the fuck home now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, but I would say there's so much, you could look up anything on anybody right now, dude. You can't hide much. In the 90s, you could hide some things. Fucking internet wasn't there. Now you could really, everything's fucking red
Yeah.
flagged or whatever. You could call people and you
just
could do your
and
homework.
Just put a picture of the
Like,
of
what's this
David
guy-
Frost on there and be like, "Watch out for this guy
Watch
at
out.
the
There
rink."
it is. Wanted.
Wanted. I remember getting a call a few years back. This is after, Mike was sentenced and went to prison. And I think he was may have been out already. And I will say this, man, I loved Mike. When he played here for St. Louis,
He's a pretty good
loved
player.
talking to him. He was a good little player.
Yeah.
Played with a ton of energy. And he just was taken over by this guy who
Yeah, I
basically
know.
told him how to think, what to say, what to do, whatever. And it just led him down that road to eventually where he landed in jail.
I'm just curious, man. Did Adam go through that too?
I think Adam got away, but I remember Adam
He's tougher than
going
shit.
after
Frosty?
Mike Danton's brother in OHL games
Oh, yeah.
and just, giving it to him and going after him. And so I remember Sue Jefferson was the nicest lady too. Like I love talking to her and Mike Jefferson, or Steve Jefferson, the dad. And they would tell me, yeah, his brother's got to play in the OHL. He's got to play against Sheldon Keefe's brother, who was like a tough OHL fighter and whatever.
Adam?
I'm sure he's a good guy. And
so tough.
Adam,
dude.
I'm sure Adam and Sheldon, I'm
He's
sure they all
coaching out-
have
he's coaching out there.
another version of the story
Yeah.
and whatever. So
Love
I'm
to
not
hear
going
it.
to sit here and say who's right and who's wrong.
Love to hear it, though.
But at the same time, yeah, he did I think he fought him at least once or twice in an OHL game. Mike Danton's brother, Jefferson.
Well, Adam fought everybody anyway, so that could just be a coincidence, but,
No, he knew what was going on
Yeah.
there. And I'm
Maybe.
sure Adam was involved with
I wanna know-
Frost
yeah.
too. But like Sheldon, I think right off the bat when he got hired by the Marlies maybe, or maybe when he got promoted to being the head coach of the Maple Leafs, maybe answered a few things and said that he has no involvement with them. But nothing really where he's truly had
sat
to
down and talk about it.
sat down and talk about it. Don't be afraid to sit down and talk about it, man. It's
Let
part
it
of
out.
your past. Let
No
it
shit.
out.
You've succeeded afterwards.
And help other kids and
There
other
it is.
parents who
There it
may
is.
find themselves in that situation
There it
again.
is. Exactly right.
Let them learn from your mistakes, man.
We all know it's there.
Yeah.
Fucking talk about it.
That's right.
Let us know. We're curious. Everybody's got kids. Some of them are traveling in different situations. Now they're having agents or family advisors, which I had at 14 years old. I remember hanging out with Scott Norton. I'd go up to Chicago with him at a young age. Do this, do that. He was great.
Just you and him?
Yeah.
How old?
He'd take pretty young.
You weren't with other kids either?
Yeah, but I remember staying in his I was a little bit older when I stayed with him and stuff like that. But I remember just dealing with a family advisor at the time. So you know what? Tell us about it. Tell us what to look for. What are red flags?
What should we
help
look
us.
for? And that's exactly
We're not
it.
chirping you. You're
No.
helping everybody
No,
else.
you were a young kid.
You're a young kid that got took advantage
You
of.
couldn't make decisions for
There you
yourself.
go.
That's why I don't even blame Mike Danton either, man.
No, I don't either.
And
We gotta get him
he
on.
came out and he
went to jail, dude, and saved the person's
He got
life.
out of prison, ended up going over to won a university, Canada
Yep.
University Championship, went over to Europe and played a little bit.
He saved somebody's life in prison too. They were choking on something,
Oh,
and he
shit.
learned something of something somewhere, and he
Mhm.
fucking helped them out. Probably, who knows what he went through, man? I'd like to talk to him. He's
Mhm.
another guy. This is what happened to me. Boom, boom, boom. Here's where I got caught up in it. Boom, boom, boom. Here's where I was thinking that this guy's always right. Boom, boom, boom. This is what happened.
Yeah.
I want to know. Theo Fleury fucking talks about it all the time.
No shit.
God damn right he
Sheldon
does.
Kennedy
You're
talks
damn right.
about it.
All the time.
And they turn their negative adversity into a way
There
to
it
help
is.
people.
Just like your drug abuse. You fucking talk about it. I'll let you know about
and
everything.
you can't hide from it. Listen, Mike Danton, and I love Nick Kiprios. I'm going to be on Kiprio's show later on today. I love Kipper.
So do I.
But I think Mike Danton, the only time he sat down with Kipper afterwards. And it was kind of I could tell that it almost sounded like it was a prearranged interview.
Probably.
What are you going to ask? Here's what you can. Here's what you can't ask.
Kind of like Kamala
And
and CNN.
Just knowing the ins and outs and the depth of that story, everything, nothing was really asked.
You're probably annoyed
you know what
by
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
Oh, back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
You're probably like, ask him this, ask him that. Oh, he can't do it.
He wasn't asking him. He couldn't.
There's
He
a
didn't.
reason.
And in fairness, he probably didn't know a lot about he didn't cover the story, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
He got the interview, and they sat down with him, and I'm sure there were a lot of questions and topics that were off limits.
I know we're all over the place. Can I give a fuck you shout out to somebody?
Ooh. Are you angry about something?
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me guess.
What do you think? What do I love a lot in my life?
WNBA.
It's close. What do I love?
Don Staley.
What are my
I think
babies?
She got a new
What
contract extension.
are my babies?
She got a new contract extension
What?
in South Carolina. The Dogs. You're saying F you to the Dogs.
No.
Because I hear you yelling at the Dogs the other day, too.
My-
they need exercise also. I was going to tell you
they
that.
we have a 5,000
they
square
need
foot house. They
exercise.
run around everywhere.
They need
Anyway,
exercise.
5,000 square foot. This motherfucker, LaShawn Johnson.
Oh,
LaShawn.
no.
He, former NFL player, got caught.
Who
in
did he
it.
play for?
I think, look that bitch up. He's getting a little fuck you shout out.
I feel like I had a couple of Sean
Man, these
Johnsons on my
motherfuckers are still
fantasy
fucking
team.
dog fighting and fucking torturing dogs. Dog fighting.
Is he from St. Louis?
Don't know. They're still dog fighting. Michael Vick dog fighting. You're still torturing animals. You Hoosier motherfucker. Ghetto fucking Hoosier. You're still torturing animals. Dog fighting. They're just killing each other, getting infected. They leave them out. The ones that aren't good at fighting, they fucking torture them. Some of them will get electrocuted. This guy got caught with hundreds of dogs, just probably mutilated, torturing animals. Fuck you.
So the
What's it saying, homeboy?
the feds seized 190 dogs.
God. Oh, I love that. This
Pit bull type dogs were seized from him in October 2024. LaShawn Johnson.
LaShawn, scumbag.
I need to know his.
That's gangster, man. That's so tough of you.
His stats.
You pussy.
Dogfighting is cruel, bloodthirsty venture,
Oh,
not a legitimate
it's
business
horrible.
or sporting activity, said the Attorney General
Oh,
for the Eastern District of Oklahoma.
where's he? Is Oklahoma too? Yeah. I know Angie Bailey would fuck him up here. You know what I mean? I just hate seeing that. Hate hearing about it. What do I want to do with my life after football? Let's torture animals and gamble on it.
Spent 8 years cultivating nice and nasty dogfighting breed.
Oh yeah. Breed.
So he looks like he played for the
What do you play for?
the New York Giants, maybe.
Yeah. I just hate that stuff, man. You know what I mean? That just
So the
pisses me
Packers
off.
drafted Johnson in the third round of the 1994 draft. Played for the Packers, Cardinals, Giants in his 5 NFL seasons, 94 to 99. Ran for 955 yards and 5 touchdowns in 62 career games.
Yeah. Is he going to jail? Like, what is it? Because
Probably.
Michael Vick went to jail, dude.
He did. So
Damn right he did.
Michael Vick went to jail.
And I like Michael Vick now.
Me too.
Even after that,
He's a success story.
even after that, see, that's where I come from. Like, I'm not going to hate you forever, man. You fucked up. And who knows, all your fucking buddies from back home are like, this is what we do. And you're like, let's go.
Newport News, man.
So I like Michael Vick now, dude. He
Yeah.
he did the time. He fucking apologized for it. Now I forgive you.
and he
As
never
an animal lover.
he never was like, I didn't do anything.
No, he's like, I fucked up.
he owned it.
I like,
And you
that's
know
fine.
what? He had a $100 million contract with
Yep.
the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Yeah.
And they basically voided the contract.
He lost a ton of money.
He lost a ton of
That's
money.
right, Andy.
So this guy goes to prison for 2 years of his career, and he was on top of the world. man.
top of the
Just an
world. Yep.
absolute athletic freak.
Yep.
We had never seen anything like him.
He was unbelievable.
We had never seen anything like him.
Cheat code.
Cheat code, man.
Yep.
He was incredible. He comes out, resurfaces, reestablishes himself as an elite NFL quarterback, gets another $100 million deal.
Yep.
That's why I like Andy Reid, man. He gave him a second chance in Philadelphia.
Damn right he did.
And he comes in and does this thing. You got PETA and all these people protesting when he shows up.
Oh, he
Still
got it.
never left him alone.
Yep.
But he's stayed on the straight and narrow since then.
Yep.
Now he just became a head coach
Where?
of a smaller
He's got
football
money.
college,
He could
whatever.
do. He's
and
handsome.
he's trying to follow the Deion Sanders path here.
Oh,
And
really?
people like Deion and these guys will help. Deion's helping a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I bet
he
he
gets
is.
second chances and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Bringing Warren Sapp and Marshall Falk and all these guys onto his coaching staff. But interesting story about the dogfighting with Michael Vick. Big Michael Vick fan, by the way. I didn't like what he did at the time, Newport News. But sometimes you're a product of your environment, man. Like, these kids grow up in a certain culture, certain environment. Just because they get to the NFL and just because they make millions and millions of dollars doesn't mean they're automatically pulled away from the people that they grew up and around, man.
Figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
Figure it out.
And you got to have
not even
people
like, you're
around
fucked
you
up.
to get you away from there.
It's still weird
You know
that
what I
you're
mean?
watching dogs getting tortured,
Yeah.
or you want to be a gangster
Oh,
and you're fucking
dude, he
shooting
bought a
somebody like
house.
Aaron Hernandez. I don't give a fuck. That's you're
Dude,
how
I
you grew
agree.
up. Fuck you.
He bought a house
You know.
just for the
I know. Fuck you.
the dog ring.
But I still forgive him.
Okay, so anyway, so I go to David Backus's house, and
Oh, boy.
we whatever hanging out. He had and David was really into dogs.
Yeah,
Still is.
it's big time. Yeah,
Dogs
Does
and
a lot.
cats. They
Does
go
a
to the
lot.
Olympics in Sochi, and they're like rescuing dogs and bringing
Yeah.
dogs back on the plane and shit.
Sochi, Fauci.
And he got a lot of other players involved in the dogs.
You
man.
want to make
Had-
it a three-eyed cat, and I'm like,
he-
no, I'm good.
He had a one-eyed cat.
I mean, one-eyed cat. And I'm like, I like two eyes.
Yeah, he had a one-eyed cat, and he was had a big charity, Athletes for Animals,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
He was great.
Did a lot of really good shit, but he had a wine collection, and among his wine collection was a series of wine bottles, and every bottle had the picture and the name of one of the dogs killed in the Michael Vick dog ring.
Are you kidding?
No.
That's a goddamn good little tidbit right
so
there, baby.
every wine bottle, it would have a picture of this pit bull and have his name.
And my dad wants to get a pit bull.
Who
It's
died
fine, no.
in the dogfighting ring, the Michael Vick dogfighting ring.
You see Morgan Wallen walk right off of Saturday Night Live. That was pretty funny.
Okay, so I don't know if we had the real story with that.
I just saw what
Like,
I
he was
saw.
cool to the main girl who
Yeah,
he
and
was
he's just like
talking
he's got a
to.
plane to catch, I think. And
It was
he's-
almost like, hey, I'm out of here, man. Like the rock star style. You know what I mean? The show's over.
Yeah,
And
but
he
it,
just-
it looked
Where's
disrespectful.
he going though?
I did-
He went out the front of the stage, up
Aren't
the
you? Don't you go back around
Like
where
if-
your limo is?
exactly.
Yeah,
So it was almost like it was
I agree with that.
planned. I feel like I understand why people are reading into it because he's different than a lot of the cast
Well, they're
members.
wokey poo like
Yeah.
no other in
Yeah.
SNL, and he's probably listening to all of them talk about their pronouns, and he's probably like, "Give me." That's what you would think.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, "You didn't call me she, her," and he's like, "I'm getting the
But
fuck
I
out
bet
of here."
you when you go host Saturday Night Live, like you're there for several days, right?
Not as a musician, I would say.
Well, no, he was probably
Did he
in
do
some skits and
I
stuff.
would say he was in skits. They
So-
all do that now.
So if that's the case, then he's probably there for a few days. He gets to know the cast members. I bet you he
they were cool.
interacted with
Yeah.
them. I bet you he was cool as shit and they were cool with him.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read into it.
You're right. I agree with you on that.
You know what I'm
dude.
saying?
I saw it, and I'm like, maybe he's just sick of all the bullshit.
Like if he's got a plane to catch, and I guess there was a picture of his private plane,
Hmm.
and he said something kind of
you
cryptic
could wait.
underneath.
If you
it.
don't want the drama, you just wait 30 more seconds, and you're good to go.
or you just go out the back.
Well, you still have to walk around the camera to see you. Just
Yeah.
wait till the camera's done. It's like
Right.
literally 30 seconds where everybody's high-fiving each other.
Yeah.
Your plane ain't going nowhere. That's your
Right.
jet. You're not getting on American Airlines.
No,
You know what I mean?
you don't have to go a plane to go catch.
You don't like flying private is what a lot of millionaires that we know in this city that aren't at that threshold would love to be. That's the next step.
Would that be
That's the next step.
Ryan Suter has his own plane, dude.
Yeah.
And he
He rents it out.
owns his own. He's got his own plane,
he makes good
regardless. And
private-
he flies back and forth to go see his family and
Mhm.
shit. Would that be the one? Like, if you had crazy money,
Yes.
is that one of the first things you buy
Yes,
for yourself?
yes. Not you don't have to buy it. You just
I know.
you rent them out at Millionaire Club down
I
in
know
Chesterfield.
what you're saying.
You don't have to buy it. He just does it probably to make money. But if you buy a jet, and I talk to these guys that own jets, and they're like, dude, I don't know if you want to get into it. Because all these people, you have to, if you own a jet, you want them to buy hours that are long. Because the biggest stress on a jet is what? Taking off and landing.
Mhm.
So if you own a jet and they're like, I'm going down to Nashville from St. Louis, they're like, you owe me $200,000 then. I'm going to double the price because that's a 40-minute flight.
Yeah.
And it's taking off and it's landing. If you go 3-4 hours, then I'll put the price down a little bit more because
You think?
it's a long, yeah. That's
You
hard.
pay by the hour and gasoline, fuel, all
Okay, so if you pay by the hour,
that? Mhm.
how much would it be to go to Nashville? Probably
Probably
25
grand,
grand. But they're going to charge you 45 because it's a short trip because it fucking beats up your jet so much
Oh,
taking off
does
and
it?
landing. Yes. When you're
So, like,
cruising,
the
dude, you're
short
fine.
trips are
They don't
worse
like
on
it.
your flight on
Yeah.
your plane.
Up and down, bang, bang, bang. So you go St. Louis to Chicago, Nashville, people, you're going to cost extra because they don't want to fuck their jet up. So anyway, listen, when you're a millionaire, you're a millionaire. You're damn good, baby. But once you're a millionaire, you want to get to that multi-million, so you can consistently fly private. It's so expensive. There's guys that made a fuck ton of money in the NHL, dude. Fuck ton. They're not fucking flying private
No.
consistently. Not at all. Even the guys that made the most money in the NHL don't fly private.
No.
Consistently.
They may occasionally.
Consistently. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Like
on a...
for their way of travel.
Like a couple of
No.
our buddies
No.
that travel, they don't go to commercial
And the
airlines.
difference is, like, a friend of mine who's got a jet, he's got a helicopter and a couple jets, whatever, and he makes a lot of money. But the difference is, like, these hockey players, dude, you make all your money in
7 years, 8 years,
yeah.
10 years.
This guy's making millions every year.
Every
and
year,
he's in his
consistently.
60s now.
And
And
it's,
like,
it's
whatever.
consistent money. Yes,
Yes.
it's a big difference, dude.
Yeah.
You make money real quick, and all of a sudden, you're like, now what do I do with it?
Right.
Like, I got to find something else I can invest this in. Is that investment great? Is this that? We've seen a lot of guys, man, in St. Louis, hockey players and baseball players that invested their Mike Matheny, who is a lovely human being.
Mhm.
Love that guy to
Made a
death,
lot
man.
of it back.
But he got fucked. What was
Yeah.
that in Chesterfield, Andy?
Yeah.
Before
With, like,
Chester,
a baseball field. and some
Chesterfield's
other
blowing
shit.
up right now in
He had
Missouri.
a couple different
I
investments.
think it was like apartment buildings and parking
Yeah,
lots.
there's something.
And then they got flooded out
Ugh.
or whatever, and he lost, or it was a Ponzi scheme. And he got fucked for millions of dollars,
Yeah.
man, and then regrouped, and he's fucking great. But like, it
I
just
know
shows
the guy who bought his. He had a crazy house.
you in
like,
what
Mike Matheny did. Had a crazy house. And I know a guy who, because his kids played hockey, and so another hockey parent bought his house for him in an auction and then sold it back to him a few years later.
interesting.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart of a human being, dude.
Yeah.
I love him.
You like Ovi, what he did for Marc-Andre
Yeah, I
Fleury?
do, man. I
Yeah.
think that's cool as hell. He scored another goal the other night. And
Empty netter or no?
I don't know. It wasn't.
No, it
tip
wasn't.
in
It was right in front.
It was tip in front, dude.
Yeah.
Right in front of the net.
I like
fucking
his
banging
selling.
and crashing.
I like the way he's selling too right now.
They got
because
beat that night.
By Buffalo, maybe?
Yeah, I think
Buffalo
it was.
keeps scoring a shit ton of goals.
It's just one of those. Listen, it's that time of year for Buffalo to win games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
all of a sudden you start winning some games and you're beating teams 7-8 or 7-6 or
No, but
whatever.
it was good to see Ovi score again, man. for
God,
sure.
yeah.
To see if
I hope he does it. Like, he's got 5 more. He's got about, 9 games left?
I just feel
That's
like it's
tough.
going to be next year.
I agree. Unfortunately.
Mhm.
Now I'm like, fuck, he's
Would
not
you
going to do it.
rather him do it now or
No, of
have
course.
the
No,
excitement and the
no.
anticipation coming into next season?
No, it's now, dude. Just do it now. This would be
Okay.
awesome. And then retire. See
Mhm.
if you want to stay
Oh,
in the Cup.
really?
Yeah.
You think he would walk away now if he breaks the record? What's there to
Does he-
play for?
I don't know. I think he wants to go play in Russia, probably for
Does
another
he?
year.
Yeah.
Do his
I've
thing
always
there,
heard that.
establish himself in Russia. Like, you're representing Russia. You want to go back over there. I think you're kind of have to go back over there and
Why
do
do they
something.
call it Mother Russia?
Because it's Mother Russia, baby.
You'd never survive there in a winter.
Nah, not too many people would, man. You know what I mean? Moscow is beautiful. St. Petersburg is beautiful. Beautiful women, not much crime. Beautiful women. But then you go to the places where, like, Evgeny Malkin are from, and you look at the women, you're like, ay,
You
the
see that
babushka
lady
woman.
in China at the Tiffany store just bashing the cases with like a sledgehammer, stealing all
I
the
see
jewelry.
all that stuff. I see Tesla's getting burned. I see this. I see that. Blah, blah,
How
blah,
much
blah.
prison time will she do in China for that?
Oh, I don't know. She might do some hardcore work.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like in China, you fuck up, like
Boot camp.
you're working. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You're
damn.
breaking rocks. You know what I
Labor.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
sentenced to labor.
I did see a nasty freaking earthquake in Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, I saw
where
that.
Andy would be a lady boy kind of thing. You know what I mean? This thing's killing thousands of people, dude. Did you see the rubble? Oh, did you see the people that are partying there?
That are at the resort.
They're at
in
the resort.
Swimming pool.
Like, oh my God. And what comes after that?
Aftershocks.
What comes the scariest thing possible that comes after an earthquake?
Oh, there's a lot of things.
What?
The
That kills more people than
Oh
anything.
my God.
What, Andy?
The tornado.
See, that's what I mean. Like,
No.
this is such
You're
an
trying
easy-
to set me up.
When there's an
It's the
earthquake,
aftershock.
when there's
dude.
an earthquake in Southeast Asia
Mhm.
on all these islands,
Tsunami.
you're damn right. Figure it out. Get on your
The
game.
tsunami.
The tsunami. But it hasn't come
The
yet.
what?
Tsunami. How fast can the tsunami go going across water?
I'd say a couple 100 miles an hour.
600 passenger jet.
Yeah. Damn.
So if a tsunami happens here
You're screwed, man.
in Bangladesh and it fucking has to travel, it's like taking a passenger fucking plane, commercial plane.
Damn.
500-600 miles an hour.
Um,
then it slows down when it hits the continental reef, like,
Yeah, but-
and then builds up like, then that's what gets you.
But I brought that up because Ovi obviously went and grabbed his teammates.
That's totally cool.
Yeah.
He could have just done it by himself, but he
Yeah.
grabbed his whole teammates.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I think
this
he
is a Hall of
told
Famer.
them before the game too. And
But they
maybe
lost,
they
I think.
kind of forgot.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Marc-Andre Fleury's cool, man. Everyone respects him.
Big time.
Would you hire John Tortorella again to be a head coach?
Probably not now. Sometimes you're past your prime. I
think-
love him, but
yeah,
I
everyone's
don't
got to
think so.
stop evaluating this though, based on whether you like him or not, and based on whether people like him and all that type of stuff. Like, I get it, but is he going to bring out the best results? I hear some people saying he's only going to want to take over a team that's ready to win now. It's like, I don't know if I'm truly in position. And like, you look at a guy like Jim Montgomery who's taken over, Spencer Carberry in
Yeah.
Washington.
Who's going to get
Those
Jack Adams?
those are the type of coaches that I want right now.
I agree with
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
I think he's
I'm
past
not
his
so
prime with
sure
it.
I need the guy who's like dressing guys and not playing them for a complete
Drama.
game. Drama, everything
know.
that goes on, the fighting with the media. I like Torts,
Me too.
okay? And I think there's a lot of positive things that happen with Torts. It's not all negative. We've had a lot of guys on here that have played for him. They
They
say
loved
they
him.
love playing
Yep.
for him. They liked him.
Crusty.
But not everybody loved playing for him.
No.
And the people who didn't love playing for him aren't nearly as vocal as the ones who did. And I'm sure that you'll start hearing from more and more of those guys over the years after Tortorella's done playing. Maybe more players are going to talk about some negative experiences that they had with John Tortorella. I like Torts a lot. I don't know what happened with Cam York. I don't know exactly what took place. Maybe there was like a disciplinary issue that was led to him, not playing. But you dress the guy, you embarrass him, you don't play him for a complete game.
That's
You're
horrible.
losing. You look at this, Michkov kid, in the first 2 games that he plays without Torts, his ice time is way up. He's scoring a bunch of goals.
Our boy,
He
Brad
looks
Shaw,
like he's
taking over.
playing free and he's playing loose. Yeah, and Brad Shaw, maybe he'll get an opportunity. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen there with the Flyers. I would imagine they're going to look for a new, a different coach to hire in the offseason. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But I just think we get it. I know a lot of people like Torts. I know he's a good person behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, he is, yeah.
A really good guy, cares about people's families, but
Yep.
that's not the issue here.
No.
Okay? Like, they almost made the playoffs last year.
It's too much, Andy.
They had to fire him with 9 games to go. Think about that. It was so bad that Keith Jones and Daniel Briere, two of the nicest people in hockey, two of the best people in
Awesome
hockey,
people, yep.
couldn't wait 9 games to let this guy go. They had to fire him now. That tells you all you need to know.
But
So there was something going on there.
But-
and maybe he said, hey, listen, I'll step aside, and he made those comments after
why
the Toronto
wait 9
game.
games and when you know you're not going to rehire, you're
I
going to
get
fire
it.
the guy anyway?
Because
Let
it was so
somebody else.
bad.
Yeah, but I would say you could look at it, counter that, and be like, no, we're done now. Still 9 games is still a long time.
After the comments he made against Toronto
Fuck,
or whatever.
Of course, all that combined. And you're like, no, let's just do this now. Let's see what we have with Bradshaw for 9 games. We'll evaluate him, but we're not going to sit here for another fucking month and deal with this when we know he's not going to be
Well,
around
that
much
tells you
longer.
how bad that it got. Though.
Yeah, I don't blame him for doing it.
But if it wasn't that bad, there's some coaches or general managers who know they're going to make a coaching change after the season.
He's loud, dude. It's too loud.
And they decide to not wait or decide to wait it out. Let's get through the season. We know we're not making the playoffs. Let's just get through the season. But in this particular situation, I just think it just gets way too much. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes there?
Well, he might have another episode where they lose 7-0 and he comes out and he's like, he does something else to some other guy.
Yeah.
It's just too much drama.
I mean,
if I'm fucking
I said
Briere,
this,
I'm like, no,
I
we're
said
done.
this over a year
You know?
ago when Chief got fired, that I thought maybe he would land in Philly because there was some talk about some language in John Tortorella's contract where he could slide and move upstairs when he's done coaching, and that he wanted to maybe climb into management and no longer coach. They don't even want him around for that. You know what I'm saying? So I know they think he's a good person. They like him, but I don't think we truly know the real story. And you're right, man. There's just too much drama. I just want to see Tortorella go somewhere and not have drama.
Well, it's not going to happen.
Right?
Here's what I want him to do. I want him to go on that goddamn panel and talk about the players.
Sure.
That's exactly what coaching, I think you've done your time, man.
Yeah.
I think you've kind of passed the threshold of you being effective, being a coach with some of these young
But I'm
players.
hearing a lot of the analysts be like, well, if there was a team that's ready to win now, maybe he would.
He might piss the fuck out of those guys and
What
ruin your
team-
mojo.
What team that's ready to win now
Is
is
fired their
looking to
coach?
hire John Tortorella as their coach anyway?
I don't know. Let's go through the teams. Oh, is Florida,
Florida,
St. Louis trying to do it? Like who?
Winnipeg,
Winnipeg? Hell no. They don't lose. Is Vegas?
Colorado,
LA that's in the mix? No.
Edmonton,
I tell you what, the Blues played Colorado on a badass 3:30 game on a gosh dang, was that Saturday? Saturday. I'm chilling, baby. That was an unbelievable game. I was wondering if the Blues are going to keep this thing going. You keep feeling like it's just going to be one of those games where it's going to get blown out. Then they play Colorado, and they went toe-to-toe with them. That was a playoff
They're
game.
too good defensively.
Woo! They are damn good, dude.
Everyone talks about how many goals they're scoring and whatnot, and how good their
Defensively.
goaltending is. Their defense is so good. They don't give up anything.
No.
When's the last time you? Actually,
The breakaway.
McKinnon did get a
Breakaway.
breakaway early in the game,
And hit the post.
but that's the first one I've seen.
I don't see
First
me
breakaway
breakdown.
against.
Don't see me
How many
breakdowns.
2-on-1s?
Not many. Look at you can look at the stats on that. There's not many.
No. I think they lead the league since the Four Nations in
It's
rush
unreal.
chances against.
It's unreal.
And that's structure, that's coaching.
Yeah,
that's
everybody bought
experience on
in.
the back end.
Everybody's
They're
buying
not a
in.
young team. They got a lot of young players, but they're not a young team. They got a lot of experience, man.
Especially on that back end. You got a lot of 1,000 gamers back there. But then you got young kids, man, that are loud. Bolduc's loud. Bednar was
He's
pissed.
crushing guys
Biden, I love it. At the end of the game, too,
Oh,
after he scores a fucking
Lindgren.
badass goal.
with his hand in his face.
Right in his face. That's a sit your ass down. I own you. I'm stronger than you play. And now he probably could have got penalty, but the game was going back and
I
forth.
heard the
There's hits.
Colorado announcers weren't very
They were
happy
not
with-
happy with that. Bednar talked about it in his post game I listened to. I like that attitude. Bolduc the other day cross checks a couple cats after they Bunting tried to knee Robert Thomas. Boom, went over there. Goes, blah, blah.
Oh my God!
I like that.
He got him in the pants both times.
No, he got him in the back of the back, dude, where
Yeah.
the pants
The second
stops.
one, he got him.
He
in the-
tried. I know
yeah.
what he's going for, dude.
Yeah.
Where you
Right.
fucking, you're only.
But he didn't hesitate, dude. He went
didn't
right
hesitate.
after him.
So the young guys on the Blues are loud, though,
Mhm.
man. They're loud, and they are making plays, doing their thing. And Robert Thomas, when I saw the last game with Robert Thomas, maybe not a Colorado game, but the game against Montreal, He could have Montreal. He could have had 8 points in that game.
Mm-hmm.
He was better than everybody by a mile.
Oh.
By a mile.
Montreal. That's why there's a difference between
There it
good
is.
teams and teams who are playing good.
Come on.
They
He
come
was
to
the best
St.
player
Louis,
by
they
a
lose
mile.
6-1.
He had the puck the whole game.
It's a terrible loss for Montreal, who's in the midst of a playoff chase, to lose 6-1 on the road.
You got. Well, I was just waiting because when you're playing that well, they lost a couple games before then. The Blues haven't slowed down. They had some close chances, games against Nashville and Chicago were the sloppy as fuck, but they found a way. But when they played Colorado, they tightened shit up, man, and they played like a playoff style game.
Pronger tweet about it.
I know everything about Pronger right now. I know about his life. I know what he's thinking. I know everything about Chris Pronger.
If there was a Twitter competition between Pronger and Peelsy, who are you taking right now?
He took him over. Pronger takes him over.
He did.
I don't see Peelsy tweeting that much. Political stuff here and there. But Pronger's
tweeting at
I know
everybody.
about his life.
He's tweeting his own tweets. He's tweeting at people. If somebody else puts an interesting tweet out, he's asking them a question.
I know everything about him. What he's thinking, who he thinks about, his health.
There's got to be some type of reason that you tweet that much, that you're looking to.
Well, 0 to 60.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
he's like trying to get into the media game for sure. There's
Yeah.
something that's going on behind the scenes
Well,
that he's working on, probably, that maybe we'll hear about in the near future.
I think he maybe wants to get on TV. I mean, he's doing
I
TV
guess, yeah.
now with the Blues on those Channel 4 games.
I need to
Although
tweet.
they're not on Channel 4.
I need to tweet.
Can I say something about that, though? Well, the people were bitching about that, where the Blues had a Channel 4 games on.
Mm-hmm.
But you still had to sign up for something. Like, it was kind of like...
Well, the last game, the first two games were over
just
the
on
air. This game was
What
on.
was that?
It was over the air if you had an antenna, or you could just download Victory Plus, which is a badass app, by the way.
Okay.
I
thought
I have the app.
People were confused.
They got a
about
lot
that.
of NHL games on there. There's some other teams that.
Does it cost any money?
No, it's free.
Okay.
They got all the WHL games on there. They've got other hockey games on there too. There's a lot of shit on there. If you get Victory Plus, dude, I'm just saying, like they've got some. Good
I think
stuff.
people were confused about it.
Yeah,
and you heard of people around saying, "Look,
I
it's just
think
they're
they're
trying new things, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying new
But
things."
sometimes it's like when a baseball game's on Apple TV or MLB TV. You just got to get.
It's all a pain in the ass
You just
right now.
gotta
To be
get
honest
used
with
to
you.
it.
It truly, truly is a pain in the ass right now. We got Marc Bergevin on, by the way. I don't think he's done an interview. We looked him up. I was doing my research on him, and like he doesn't do any interviews. Only post game when he was a GM of Montreal. And that's it. And so I texted him, "Hey man, can you come on?" He's coming to Chaser's event this weekend, and he got right back to me. He said, "Yep." Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Who,
Bergie.
Yeah.
So we talked to him for an hour. I didn't know if he was expecting us to talk to him for an hour. I don't know if he was expecting a 10-minute interview, but he was on for an hour with us, man.
Yeah.
And we got into a lot of things with him. You guys are going to enjoy this.
Oh my God, dude!
Yeah.
I don't think he's spoken since he left the Montreal Canadiens, and he and I had a little bit of a. I've known Bergevin forever. When I first started covering the Blues, he was playing on the team, so like always had a great relationship with him. But then it got a little rocky early in my TV career.
We talk about it.
And you'll hear about that story. It's kind
I
of
asked
funny.
him the question.
It's kind of funny,
You know?
but asked him a lot of shit though.
We did, you know. I didn't know what to expect because he probably thought we were just going to talk about the puck cancer.
Some stuff. And listen,
we talked to him for an
some
hour.
Montreal fans are going to be like, "Why didn't you ask him this? Why didn't you ask him that?" Listen, I didn't want it to be an interrogation.
No.
Where everything's negative.
No.
I mean, there's some positive things too that he did.
Yeah, of course.
In Montreal.
Yeah, and one other thing we didn't talk about was him fucking throwing the goddamn puck in the net.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's old news.
We talked. Dude, there's
it
too
was,
much
it was
to
on
get
my
into.
mind.
I know.
He
He did us a favor because he's not.
Yeah.
He didn't do this shit, and
Yeah.
we got him on. And
Yeah.
this is a fucking
Yeah.
like that's Bergie,
Yeah.
dude. He's been
Yeah.
through a lot,
Yes.
and in the cameras, and in the spotlight, and
Yeah.
so he's probably hesitant.
Firstform.com/Cam
Yeah, baby, let's go.
Download the link and do it today. Firstform.com/Cam Listen, get those orders coming in. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
And send them to us. And I think we're gonna have a little like an email club where you can sign up and
Yes.
get some extra content
We just sign up for an
from
email.
Cam and Strick.
and then
If
we'll
you're
just-
interested in that,
Yeah, let
we'll,
us know.
we'll have a sign up sheet for that. We'll get Brody on that, and we'll start having ways that you can kind of be a part of
It's
the
like a separate
Cam
little
and
class.
Strick overtime.
Premium
Brought
class
to you by First Form.
for free.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. But get healthy, get in shape, feel good about yourself, change your lifestyle,
Yeah.
do it the right way, do it with a great company. Download the app, let them take over, let them show you the path to living
That's right.
your best
You
life.
want to feel good, man. You feel better about yourself. everything comes a lot easier in life. You know what I mean?
Everything comes easy. Say that again.
When you feel better about yourself, when
Everything
you do
comes easy.
day-to-day things,
Yeah.
it just becomes
Everything
easier. You're
comes
confident.
easier.
You're doing
Yeah.
your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, Bolt Sports, man. You want to take your game to the next level. How important is the
I might have to.
Yeah, you
I might have to
you
like
might.
stick handle before this weekend, dude.
I'll bring you. We'll do something.
Why don't you bring it to
I
the
will,
camp and let me
we'll
get
do a
my
little-
groove
All
on?
right, good.
You know,
I like that. And
With
maybe
the
we'll get
boys.
some other guys to
with
join
the
in
boys.
on the
Yeah,
competition.
there it is.
Okay, I like that. Because they got the dangler, they've got the snipes. The snipes are the targets that you put into a regulation size rink, and you got the app, and it keeps your score. You can play against buddies who are in a different location, which is amazing. So they could be at their house, you could be at your house, and you're playing against them, almost like a video game. And it all lights up. It's very, very cool. That's the snipes. The dangler, the same thing, where you can kind of toe drag and stick handle through these stick handling bars. You can use one, you can use up to 3. Then they got the E-cones for agility and speed training. Doesn't have to be geared towards just hockey players, but it's certainly geared to help the hockey players. So
Yeah,
check
baby.
that out. Bolt Sports, Sam Bennington. Give Sam a shout out.
Sammy boy, what up?
Check it out, though. BoltSports.ca. You can check out their Instagram, though, all the videos and stuff to get a better idea of what it looks like. Blue Note Roofing, baby. David Novak.
Oh God, is he?
Is he busy?
Oh my God!
what?
And we're getting rocked again. Just so everybody knows.
I thought we were yesterday, but it didn't really
it
happen.
went south of us.
Yeah,
There's
just
tornadoes
missed us.
fucking
Yeah,
everywhere
yeah.
yesterday.
He knew no, he didn't.
where people
he knew
died.
nothing
Andy's gonna
about
chirp,
it.
"Hey, nothing happened. People are dying.
You knew nothing about
People
it.
are. Yeah, it went
Yesterday,
south of us.
they were dying
Yes,
yesterday?
dude,
Oh.
in Arkansas.
I was
You better get on
at a
with yourself.
soccer field. Very
better
dangerous
get on with
place to
yourself.
be when something like that happens.
Don't play with me with this stuff, dude.
Blue
We're
Note
talking about
Roofing.
drafting in 2003.
Okay.
You got me.
But if you were suffered any damage, dude, wind damage,
There's a
you
lot.
need a new roof. Let them come over and give you that estimate. Roofings, gutters, soffit, fascia, siding.
There's a lot of stuff that got rocked.
Blue Note Roofing, 314-920-5713.
Golf ball size hail.
314-920-5713. Golf ball size hail.
No,
Wow.
baseball size hail. My bad.
Baseball size.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, that's the worst thing.
314-920-5713.
He'll hook you up. He will take care of you
Yeah,
guys.
no doubt about it. Blue Note Roofing.
No doubt about it.
Hey, the Jersey Generator. This is a new sponsor. New sponsor alert here on the Cam and Strick podcast, man. Give Mark a shout out. Say what up, Mark.
What up, Mark? What's up, baby? Let's go.
Dude, you are late. Your timing is not there
wasn't
right
good.
now.
Just on that one, wasn't that good.
Why wasn't it? Say hi to Mark.
Hey, Mark. What's up,
Out
baby?
of Montreal.
We talked to him. Oh yeah.
He is an entrepreneur.
Yes, he is. He's always got something going on.
He's got something going on,
Yep.
including custom men's league jerseys. But this is different. Like, I know a lot of these men's league jerseys companies, like, they require you to order like 20 or 30 for the entire team. You can do just one if you want. Do you just want a custom jersey with like
Yeah.
your business on it? Like a restaurant, you want to hang it up in the restaurant that you own, or you want to have one inside your company, or you want to make one for your kid, or whatever it is.
Or your
Dude, you can
your
do whatever
Sunday
you
night
want.
league team.
But you can do it for the team, which is what I recommend you doing. So if your team needs custom hockey jerseys that actually represent who you are, you got to check it out. TheJerseyGenerator.com. Send them the logo. They can even create a logo. They're making us some Cam and Strick jerseys. We'll
Yeah.
have those hanging up here very soon. So you want sublimated jerseys? They got them. You prefer embroidered jerseys like the pros? They can do those too. So you can have the
Hockey jerseys look
embroidered
good.
jerseys like
Hockey
this, man.
jerseys look really good whenever you get them framed. And so if you own a company
Mm-hmm.
and you make a cool hockey jersey of your company
Yeah.
symbol or whatever it is, and you hang it up in your office, it looks cool.
And they're making reversible jerseys too. So if you don't want to spend the money to have a home and away jersey, get the reversible, dude, which is great because then you have two jerseys.
Yeah, that's what we
in
do with the
one.
alumni.
You don't need to order 20 or 30. You just need one. Like I said, no minimums. They ship fast. Once your design is confirmed, you'll have it in like 2 to 3 weeks or something like that, which is crazy.
That's
No
pretty
waiting
quick.
around for months.
That's pretty quick.
Some people do wait forever. So
How do you get a hold of them, Andy?
well, if you're a first-time buyer, you can use the promo code Andy10 at checkout to save money, or you can use Cam10 instead if you want to save money. I highly recommend you using Andy10. Don't use Cam10.
Well, it's easier to put Cam than Andy.
No,
if you want to save
Andy10.
time,
Andy
put
10.
CAM.
Cam10 or Andy10. It's a little competition. I want everyone to go out there and use the Andy10 over the Cam10.
I guess
The
we'll
competition's on.
See. We'll see. CAM 10.
They don't mess
Easy.
around when it comes to customer service, though. Mark will work with you even before the production even starts. So check that out. Perfect for any team. Quality.
Cam 10
They'll
promo
take care
code,
of
baby.
you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swinging dicks, none of that shit. Troy, Missouri. Let's go. Nice vehicles out there, man. Nice to have a
Buick GMC.
Buick GMC, and I tell you what, those Jeeps are awesome too, man. Those Gladiators. No, you could take the doors off right
dude,
now.
Those are so sick.
Take the top off. Cruise around. It's 70 degrees here in St. Louis now.
I like those Wagoneers too.
Oh God, dang right.
All blacked out.
They're awesome. Wagoneers are really, really nice, dude.
Yeah.
Really nice truck.
So Buick GMC, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram,
SUV.
all located where?
Troy, Missouri.
Troy, baby.
Beautiful Troy, Missouri.
Yeah. Hat Launch and hatlaunch.com. Look at this right here. It's kind of like the Jersey generator, but it's hats.
See, I like that white one with the black.
You
Looks
like that?
Badass, yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank
Go ahead
you.
and give me one.
Yeah.
I know you got about 15
Yeah,
of them.
Maybe Danny will give you one.
I like the black with the white. Looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Just check out hatlaunch.com. Tell them you want one of these Cam and Strick hats.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hook you up with it. Check out their website. You can call them too. Ask for Danny. Tell him you heard about him on the Cam and Strick podcast.
Yeah, baby.
He'll take great care of you. Awesome quality. They can do bulk orders. They can do huge orders, small orders, whatever you're looking to do. Hat Launch.
Hat Launch. Let's go.
What separates Hat Launch from the competition?
Well, the best of the best, baby. They'll take care of you. Just like what we said with the jerseys and stuff like that. If you guys have something going on and you want a bunch of hats for your business or your hockey team or
Yeah.
whatever, they will take care of you. Damn good job.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Illinois Recovery Center camp.
Right there in Swansea, Illinois.
Where?
Swansea.
Yeah.
Swansea, Illinois. Easy to get to. Jacob, to Chrissy, to Eric. Those guys are doing a damn good job over there, man. They want to help you. They got a lovely bed for you. Whatever it is, it could be anything, man. I get it all. They'll go through the little necessary steps, man, to get you going. And every time I go in there, I can always tell who's in there for a week and who's in there for 3-4 weeks. Their eyes look different. Their face is back. They're normal again. They're themselves again. That's in Swansea, Illinois.
Swansea, Illinois.
Illinois
baby.
Recovery Center. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of anybody. You can just look it up right online, whatever.
Yeah,
say what
but
you want to
if
do.
you want to get a hold of us, and we
But
can get you
yeah.
in direct contact with Eric
100%.
or Chris
Message
or
us on
whoever.
anything, dude.
Jacob,
I got 2
whoever.
Facebook accounts. I got Twitter
Yeah.
and Instagram.
I've got a Facebook account. I got an Instagram account and Twitter account too.
Mhm.
So my DMs are open.
DMs are open to everybody, so everybody knows.
So if you want to reach out to me, I can get you in touch with Chrissy and
That's right.
Eric.
Yeah.
You can reach out to Cam too. if you
Whatever.
want.
Yeah, go reach out to Andy. He'll help you. And you'll be texting people whenever you're going through your problems with them.
Tweeting.
You never want to call Andy for any problems that you want to like get solved by yourself, because you'll see him tweeting. You'll literally see him tweeting at the time you were talking to him about your problem.
What's Prongs doing right now?
He's tweeting. Frogs.
He's tweeting.
He's tweeting. He's wearing gloves.
Oh.
His thumbs are all fucked up.
True Flow, baby.
Let's go.
TrueFlow.ca.
springtime.
Hey, the most
Springtime.
badass coolers you'll find anywhere that you can take on the boat, take on the river,
So badass, dude.
poolside.
Yep.
You got all those, company parties coming up, end of the year, school year parties, auctions, golf outings,
auctions, yeah.
golf tournaments,
Yeah.
and you want to put your logo on a cooler, which are better than Yeti.
Look, well, Yetis are a bunch of pussies. These guys are shit kickers. They can fall out of your truck at
And
90 miles
Yeti
an
is
hour.
what?
Pussy.
So True Float is
Tough Alberta tough,
Ooh,
baby.
Alberta.
Alberta shit kicking. They're just like us in the
They've got
Midwest here,
coolers
baby.
on wheels,
Tough.
dude. They can put your logo on there, though.
Yeah,
like if
they
you
do a
send
damn
them
good
your
job.
logo from your team or your business, dude, they put it on a cooler. Which,
Cooler.
dude, if you want to have a golf outing, golf tournament, like these would go for
Oh my! If
several
I saw that bad boy,
$100s,
I'd be like,
man.
yeah. And the Cam and Strick ones are awesome looking
Yeah.
too, man. Really cool.
They
And they
are.
got the chairs too.
And they'll do those for you. They got the heated chairs,
Yeah.
so you're sitting outside by the fire. We had a fire on Saturday night, man.
I
It was
saw it.
great. Oh, did you?
Yeah. You
I
Lori
didn't.
posted.
Oh, she must have.
She posted a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she must have.
And he went out to dinner. I know exactly what he went through. I know what he ate or didn't eat. See, Andy likes to post pictures of his food and doesn't do anything
not true.
afterwards.
Of the empty plate?
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw the beginning.
I didn't do that.
Andy takes pictures of his food, and then
I kind of
like,
when the
nitpicks it.
presentation's nice like that, I like to do it.
Kate does the same thing. Most women do.
When the presentation's nice.
Most women do. Most women
I
do.
think a lot of people do in general.
Don't see many guys doing it.
Really post their food.
Most women. Mostly
If
women.
you want to
Mostly
take
women. It's all
care
good.
of the restaurant,
Why do you not
owner,
like women? How dare you?
Just saying.
How
You
dare
shouldn't categorize it like that.
Wow.
Don't categorize.
Would you not like women?
Heated chairs,
Wow.
coolers. Don't categorize.
How dare you? You're making me
Men
uncomfortable.
can do that as well.
You're making me uncomfortable. They don't, though. It's mostly women. Women can have their own. Women can have their own thing, too,
I'm a
Andy.
fan. I'm uncomfortable.
Wow. Well, you're the one doing it. You know what I mean?
Men can do it too.
I'm just saying. It's mostly women. It's all fine. We love women.
You can play.
What? Excuse me.
Everybody can do it.
Everybody can do it.
It's not for women or men.
Yeah, most of them. It's fine.
Jesus.
You know
I
what
had
I mean?
no idea. I didn't know that.
Do women bricklay?
I didn't. Actually, there
What
was
percentage?
a man who was in transition to be a woman who came and
What
tried to
percentage?
move in one of
They
my
just don't do it.
apartments.
Nothing
with
wrong with that.
nails, high heels, the long hair. He was in
They like taking pictures
he was
of their
in
food,
transition
like
to
Andy
becoming
does.
a woman. And I asked him what he did for a living. He was a bricklayer. I even called the employer. They were like, he's the best
Oh, yeah.
employer we have.
Oh, yeah. Would you own the place?
I did own the
Oh, my God.
Condo.
What's story time? Andy's story time today.
Well,
Holy
we'll tell
mother
that
of
story on the
Christ.
other side. Marc
Anything else you wanna talk
Bergevin,
about?
baby,
Jeez.
on this edition of the Cam Strick.
Holy fuck.
The Cam Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. Where are you at? Are you in, where is that where you live? Is that your full-time?
They're playing.
Oh,
LA's
you're
Playing
playing.
tomorrow.
Where do you live, though? Like, where's your home?
LA.
Okay. You like living out there? You can
Yeah.
handle the traffic and all that?
I mean, it's not far from the practice rink, so it takes me like 15, 20 minutes in the morning. And there's just on game day, we just go to the rink. And that's it. So it's not that bad, actually. I don't have to deal with the traffic, but there is a lot of traffic.
But
Yeah,
since
yeah,
you
there is.
finished playing, like, did you take any time off, like, after you finished playing before you got into working with a team? Like, where was your home before you started working with Chicago? And then, obviously, you were in Montreal all those years.
Yeah, well, I retired in 04, which was the lockout year. So what happened, there was no hockey for the whole year. So, they always say you should take a year off after you retire. Well,
Yeah.
didn't really have a choice because there was no hockey. So then I moved to San Diego for that year, and then that's when Dale hired me in Chicago as a pro scout. It's funny because at the time there was only two pro scout, me and Rick Dudley. So Rick was living in Florida, I was living in San Diego, and I had the Western Conference and Dud's at the Eastern Conference. So it's a lot of work. Not anymore. I mean, now teams at 5, 4, 5, 6 pro scouts, but back then there was only me and Rick Dudley.
So you traveling all over the place. Like after you just get done traveling, playing hockey now, it's kind of back in the grind.
Yeah,
No private jets.
For me, it's not work. I love doing this. It's been my life since like you, Cam, probably started when you were 5 or 6 years old playing hockey. I turned pro in 1984.
Cam started when he was 10.
I'm from Eureka, Missouri, Bergie, and I started when I was like 10 and 11.
Couldn't you
didn't
tell?
Then I
You didn't
figured it
skate?
out.
You didn't skate before that?
No, man, I played every other sport.
Bergie, you're
Yeah.
the pro scout. You seen him skate. Although actually
baby.
he could skate. That was actually the strength of his
I figured
of
it
his
out.
game.
Yeah, you did. And you had a nice career. No, so yeah, to go back to this. So then I turned pro in 1984. I was only 19 years old. And what are we now? 25? So was it 40 years if I do the math?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Are you with the Kings? Like are you traveling all the time?
Yeah.
I would say about out of 41 road game, I'll probably travel mid 30s, I would say.
Yeah. You guys have a good team, man. We've had Luke
Yeah.
Robitaille on too. Like
Yeah.
I like your whole group.
Damn right.
You're fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like you guys can kind of play different styles depending on who you're playing against. But what's it like being with a team after being in charge for so long and then now being with a team where you got to answer to a general manager? Like, do you watch the game the same way? Is your day-to-day responsibility pretty much the same?
Yeah, I mean, Rob Blake is, it's really easy to work with. And I understand he's the boss, I'm not. And so it's easier because you have suggestion or ideas, but at the end of the day, you don't make the call, which I do miss, but I do understand that it's not my job. So, it's a little less pressure, obviously, not only because you're not GM, but LA is not Montreal as a media-friendly, frenzy atmosphere, I would say.
Mark, Montreal was
Dude.
here last night. There were more media.
Dude.
I mean, Jim Montgomery was like, what is going on here today? I mean, there's like 2 different press conferences going on at once, man. Like, How often are you meeting with the media when you're the GM in Montreal? Is that like a daily thing, or can you pick your spots?
No, in Montreal, like any other Canadian market, you don't talk to media daily. That's the coach's job. So
Yeah.
I would say I would have probably maybe 10 times a year overall, unless, you make a trade or then you have to talk to the media. But overall, there's, the golf tournament, which is be right before camp. There's training camp. You'll do maybe right before the season start with the network. You'll do 4 or 5, and then mid-season. It all depends what's going on, but I would say on average about 10 times a year as a GM.
Yeah.
Well, we just had Kevin Lowe on, and he kind of explained like being a player is less stressful, and then the coach, and then the GM. It's just the most stressful thing possible. But you did coach for a while. Like I'm thinking as a player, and you're my coach. I'm like, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think you'd be a really good coach. What did you not want to do that? You want to just kind of go into the GM role, like?
Well, there's a path you take, like to your point, Cam. You either go into management or coaching, and it's two different paths. You can't really do well. I don't believe you could do both. But so what happened after I retired? My kids were still young, and if you start coaching, you have to be willing to move a lot, and
Yes.
it's either to the minors, to junior hockey, to the pros. And my kids at that age were really young, so I figured management was more my path. And then when I started getting into it, I really enjoy it. I've learned a lot over the years, and I still do today. But it's two different paths, and that's the reason I took management side.
Keenan did both.
Yeah.
He was GM and coach.
Yeah, those days
We
are
had him
long
on
gone, I
twice.
believe. It's too much of a.
No shit.
It's a grind to be a general manager,
I know.
especially if you do in a crazy media market. It's
Yeah.
even more. But overall, it's a lot of work. Yes, it is. It's pretty much 11 months a year.
Oh my God. If maybe 12 months. Listen, Bergie, do you feel like it's harder to be a GM in a media market like Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver versus, a non-traditional hockey market?
Yes.
You think it's harder? Yeah.
Yes. It's different challenges, different, the media is the media. Definitely. For me, it is. The job itself is great. I love the job and of being general manager. But people think it's only hockey decision. There's a lot around the GM that it's just based on the team. There's staff. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. And then you go into a media market where it's more driven. There's other part of also that, smaller market don't have to deal with.
And you had never been a GM before, but you felt like you were ready for it, right? You've been around the NHL for so long. You're a confident guy and you're accomplished. Like you felt like you were ready for it, right? When you got to Montreal, or did it take some time to be like, okay, maybe I didn't expect this, but maybe it took a little bit of time?
No, I felt I was ready, but obviously until you're in it, you don't know. It's all the first time. It's like every GM that's GM today, at one point, it was their first job as a GM. So everybody starts at, you're not born a GM. So, but I thought I did my due diligence. I did my work. I started as a pro scout. Then I went director of pro scouting. Then I did 1 year as an assistant coach. And then I went AGM. So I believe I did the path where it doesn't mean you'll be successful, but it means that you're more equipped to deal with the situation that'll present itself while you're GM. So, it's not easy to jump from, and even though as a player, you think but you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's experience, it's different situation, dealing with agents. That's another one. Agents are a big part of the game too now, especially with the way the market's going, and players are, the demand they want for contracts, and it's in the salary cap. You got to navigate through this, and sometimes it's you need experience helps. Put it this way.
Hey, so when you're a player and you're the big dog in the locker room, been in the game a long time, your personality and all that, everybody listens to you, and you're like, I know what's going on upstairs. I know what's going on up there. And then you become a GM and you're like, these fucking guys have no idea what's going on. There's a huge gap on we're trying to relay as much as we can, but there's only certain things we could say.
No, you think you do, and you do some of it. I mean, players, I mean, you play for, a period of time in the NHL, I mean, it's not like you're going off the street, but you don't really know until you're in it. And that's why to take your time, whoever players that one day want to be general manager, I'm telling you, just don't jump into it right away. Make sure you take the step to gain experience at every level. So if you do become a GM one day, you're prepared to face whatever, you have to face.
Bergie, but when you were a player, like all your teammates, man, they all loved you.
Oh, yeah.
They tell stories about you. You got one story after the next. I mean, I don't have enough time to get into them. When you're a general manager, like, were you able to still, like, enjoy the game, have fun doing it every day the way you did as a player, maybe even as an assistant coach when you're interacting with the guys, and you're still kind of, as an assistant coach, man, you can still be buddies with the players,
Yeah, as a GM, not really. I mean, what helps me, I believe, and you could ask my players out in Montreal, they could tell you better than I do, but I respect them. I respect their environment. Like, I felt as a player, the locker room was my home, and I felt really comfortable. But as a GM, I never went in there. I mean, the time I went, it was very calculated and for a specific reason, because that's their space.
Really?
That belongs to them. And even though I felt that was my home, it's not my home anymore. And so that's what you make a difference when you become a general manager and an ex-player. This is not your territory anymore, and respect their space. And you can think like a player, but you have to respect their, if they want to grab a beer on the bus after a game, don't go in there and look and where's the beer? Where's the beer can? Let them be. They're adult. They don't want that guy that after they leave the bus go, okay, no, who was drinking beer? Come on.
Yeah.
Because you lose respect for them. There's a time and place to be serious. There's a time and place to have your fun, and respect that. And that's what I think helped me with the players I had in Montreal. I left them alone, but they knew, I meant business when, it was time. And what really helped me in Montreal is having a captain like Shea Weber, which there's the team and he's going to run it, and it's smooth, and he knows the pulse of the team.
I know. I can't believe people would try to chirp you for that trade, by the way. I think that was a great trade, man. What he meant to that organization, what he did for that team, and to obviously the run to the final, that's a huge part of it, but it's not just that. How difficult of a trade is that, knowing that it's going to become as loud as it became and it's going to create headline news? You're trading away a popular player, but you're getting a Hall of Fame player in return, man. I mean, you just got to go with your instincts and your gut. What's it like making a move like that?
Well, it's never easy, and especially that magnitude. I mean, to give up, to get a player like Shea Weber, you have to give something back. And the asking price was PK, and PK was a great player for us. I mean, he was won the Norris, I think it was in 2013, if I'm
13, yeah.
Yeah. And but I felt at the time the team needed something different, which Shea became available, and that was the price to pay to get Shea, was to give PK. And to your point, you guys, Montreal went to the finals, so is Nashville. And when a trade works for both teams, it's a good trade.
Yeah.
And it worked out for both teams, I believe.
You know what I noticed about you, though, Berge, is that you were some general managers don't have a lot of emotion, right? And they'll make trades, they'll move on from players, and they just can't allow the emotional connection to kind of interfere with their decision making. But I felt like you were close with your players, man. Brendan Gallagher, Carey Price, Shea Weber, who you just mentioned. I feel like you had a real legitimate relationship with these guys.
Well, I think for me is I want my players to believe I had their back, and I was going to war with them. So that's my message to them. And I believe that's why we had, some success. When they know that the guys upstairs have your back, they'll go the extra mile. And I remember when we went to the final, Pricer he said, this one's for you. And then when he retired, he gave me his helmet from the Stanley Cup, and he wrote to me and he says, Berge, that's for you. So that meant a lot to me that, we had, without being buddies, but without going to dinners, we never did that. We just had that. And I believe it goes from Carey Price, Weber to every single one of them, even the guy that played 8 minutes a night. He knew I had his back. Regardless what happened, I was with them. We were in the same battle.
Why were you so emotional when you extended Gallagher?
Oh, Gally's because he's a heart and soul. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he remember in the bubble when he broke his jaw.
Oh,
I think it was Niskanen, high stick, and he got to the bench, and his jaw was. He didn't want to. They want to bring him in. He goes, "No, I'm staying." And how do you justify that in money wise? Like, what's that worth? To me, that's what Brendan Gallagher represents. It's heart and soul. Even if he doesn't score, he'll do something. He'll drag the players into the fight. He'll wake the team up. No maintenance. I would say there's guys who are low maintenance, which, he's no maintenance. It's every night, every practice. And that's why I get emotional. And, his mom just passed not too long ago. I sent him a text. He replied, and I think it lasted for at least 4 years, and it was tough for him. And yeah, it touched me. Yeah.
Hey, before
Scored
we
a goal and
before we
played up to her.
move on though from away from this though, how banged up was Shea Weber? Like towards the end, like give me an idea how hurt he was. And Carey Price too, right? Wasn't he dealing with some stuff too?
Yeah. Well, as far as Webby, during that playoff run, I would get every morning I would get the medical from the medical staff, about who's need treatment, and Webby was there, but there was never like a red flag where you should worry about next game he might not play. But then when the playoff was over, the last game, I remember we lost to Tampa game 5. The next day we got on the bus and he said, Berge, can I talk to you when we get to Montreal? So I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And then we landed in Montreal and him and I met, and he told me, and what he told me he had to go through for the last 2 months to get ready just for one game. I was like, wow, he never complained once, not once. And he was his ankle, his knee. It took him, I don't know, 2 hours, hour and a half just to get ready from one practice. Never missed anything. Never asked for a day off. Like it was, and that's why he is in the Hall of Fame. And what he brought to the table is more that his slap shot or his presence on the ice. It's everything. He would pack his bag after the game and took it to the outside when they put the bags. He would do that, and then next thing you know, the whole team's doing it.
Really?
Yep.
And it's a culture thing that people like, and I'm sure there's more in the NHL. I'm just talking about Shea because I had him. That means, like, to me, it means a lot. It's respect for your teammates, for your training staff. It's just the culture. That's what it's all about for me.
I remember 2019 when the Blues won the Cup. Larry Robinson was, working with the organization. This guy was carrying bags.
Yeah, baby.
Like literally picking up, carrying them to the bus. Hall of Famer, one of the greatest. I mean, and
boy.
I was like, is he real? But, maybe that's a Montreal thing or just an individual thing. That's just who they are, man. There's just no ego. But
Yeah, well, some guys though, like some guys, but here, take that, do this. And if your leader is like, no, I'm carrying my bag, then everybody's like, whoa, I gotta do this.
So if Shea Weber carries bag, then the next guy in line, the 2-year pro might say, okay, now maybe I should carry my bag. And then you snowball, and next thing you know, it's a culture thing. And I don't know what's going on in Montreal now. I've been gone. I hope it's the same. I think it's the same, but, hopefully it is.
could you be funny with your players?
Yeah.
Could you pull pranks with your players?
Oh, no. I mean, no. To a degree, a little joke here and there, nothing, I like I said, it's that my time has passed for that with the players. I do it with the staff. That's a different story. With the players, I like them. I respect them. I love to hang out with them, but I knew I couldn't do it. But no, I didn't. No, not
I
really.
remember playing in St. Louis when I was like 16, and you're out there skating. We're all with the alumni, and I remember trying to get by you, and you'd poke check, and you do like a Statue of Liberty thing, and you go like this. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And everybody's laughing. I'm like, this guy's goddamn hilarious. Do you look at players though now and talk to everybody and say, hey, we need a guy that's lively, that's funny, that when you're in the dog days in February and whatnot, this guy's going to show up, keep you loose in the locker room. Do you still look for that stuff?
I mean, it's hard to find because you don't, if you have him on your team. Like the other day, I was in Dallas and I didn't know him. I knew, but I didn't know him. It's Vern Fiddler.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This guy's hilarious. And I could see why he played that long. And I mean, he had a nice career, like over 900 games. But yes, it's nice to have those guys. They're serious, but then so in those, January and February when it's the grind and you just lost 3 in a row and guys are like, he's just put life in the locker room. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those guys are hard to find, and but if you do have 1 or 2, it's I think it helps your team. Yes, it does.
Listen, Berge, I'm curious when you're the general manager how important the rest of your staff is, because like when people are like, well, he drafted Kotkaniemi over Brady Tkachuk, like you got to rely on your staff, right? I mean, that's what they're paid to do. So as a general manager, when you take the heat for other decisions that others make, is that difficult to hear or you just have to eat it?
No, not for me. I'm the boss, the buck stop here, and I'll take the heat all day long. And I think that shows to your staff that you have their back. So at some point, if things don't, you might make changes, but once it happened, you just take it, you move on, and you say, the draft is another story. It's we could pick every single teams and tell you every single draft they should have drafted him here and there, and it's easy to say after the fact, but yeah, no, you take the heat and you move on.
How long does it take before you realize that, like, like maybe we made a mistake, or because listen, guys, every team's done it, every general manager's made the mistakes, but do you think about it after the fact, or you just can't allow yourself to do that?
No, I mean, you see it. I mean, players will show you if it was just the pick wasn't the right one at the time or whatever. It takes time. It doesn't take 6 months. It takes longer than that. And at some point, you have the player, and it is what it is. If you can always try to make your team better, and if you have to move a player that hasn't performed to your expectation, but usually by then the cat's out of the bag. Everybody else knows. So, but like I said, every single team I could randomly pick a team, and at one point they made a mistake. It's just the way they mean. If you're not willing to take chances, you'll never make a mistake, but then you'll never get better either. So, if you're not willing to lose sight of the horizon, of the shore, I mean, you'll never find your horizon. So,
I like that.
Did you play with Mario in a Team Quebec tournament
when you were kids?
I grew up with him. So we're both from downtown Montreal. So we play our minor hockey, Pee Wee, Bantam, and Midget together. And then he went to Laval and I went to Chicoutimi. But until then, yeah, we play all our minor. Him, and JJ Daniel on the same team.
Oh my God. Was Mario was he always from the very beginning just so much better than everybody else?
And big?
Big, yeah, not even close. He was the best player in Montreal, and every time we went to a tournament in the province of Quebec, he was always the guy. So from the age of 10 to, when he was drafted to go to Laval, I think I was a 16-year-old because he's a late birthday.
Were you ever like a bad breakout pass to him and he just kind of looks at you like, give me the goddamn puck? Or was he just a cool guy?
No, very. Never looked down. Even as a kid, I was his left winger for a year. I think I had 60 goals in I don't know how many games. I mean, it was just put my stick there and you just tap it in. Oh. No, never look down. Never. No, none of that. Very humble is the word.
What separated him, though, from everybody else at a young age? I mean, you see it in the NHL. I mean, he's just got that size and the skill and the brain and everything. But as a young kid, like, what was it that made him so much? I mean, you got other NHLers on the team. Typically, if you see a youth hockey team with 3 NHLers, they're all kind of comparable. Like, what made him so much better than everybody else, though?
Same as he was in the NHL level. He was bigger. He was reach, vision, like everything. Everything he did in the NHL, he did as a kid. He just got better, better and better.
Was he the hardest player for you to defend, like to play against in the NHL? Who's the scariest player, like for you to
coming down on you, catching you with your head down, Bergie? Who scared you?
You know what? One guy was hard to play against is Peter Forsberg.
Oh yeah, reverse hits too.
The first time he did that to me was in St. Louis, right here in my chest. I think I still have a bruise here from him. Like he was hard to defend because he was not only skilled, but he was hard skill, like tough areas. He was, obviously Mario, the skill level, Gretzky. If I play against, great players, but, Mario would make you look really silly. He could beat you one-on-one and beat you again. Gretz would make plays, behind your back or behind his back, and you never saw, all did you see this guy open? And Forsberg was just pure power.
What's the biggest injury you've had? You got banged up pretty good.
I ripped my abdominal muscle in St. Louis. I had a 3-inch tear in my abdominal muscle. That's probably the biggest one. They had to put a patch of Gore-Tex, which is still there today. But, it's
no
fine.
Concussion stuff? All good on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I remember one time I got reverse hit by Mike Foligno in Chicago in the early 80s. And I was Bambi on the ice, and trying to get to the bench. Finally got to the bench and, gave me a sniffer. And they go, well, there's 5 minutes left. Can you finish the period? Like, that was then. That was just the way it was. I didn't know it was a concussion. I'm not blaming anybody. Just, I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. And now it's safer. It's different. And it should be that way. But back then, you look, guys are getting it back in the 80s. And they're like, he didn't miss the shift. Like Paul Correa, remember that hit against Scott Stevens?
Oh my
God,
God!
Baby.
Yep. Today he's never coming back, and it's better this way. I agree, but back then we didn't know any better, and guys wanted to play, and we just went back out there. So yes, to your point, Dave Brown hit me with his left, knocked me out, and I was out on my feet, and then went to the box and finished the game and move on. It was, I'm fine today. I guess I'm lucky.
Dave Brown, was he the scariest guy going? Was Probert the scariest? People say Dave Brown was.
Brownie was, Proby was, Joey Kosher was. I can name a whole bunch of them. Every night, it was different game back then, in the 80s and 90s.
Hooking and clutching.
Stu Grimson, yeah.
Stewie, yeah. He'll be skating.
Where was your favorite place to play as a player?
St. Louis.
Was it? Why?
Well, obviously, St. Louis, I call it Midwest. People are so nice. They love their hockey. They love their sports. It's easy to get around. It's just nice. St. Louis is a nice city. Plus, we had a good team. And I was there the longest. And from Joel Quenneville to Mike Caruso to Larry Clough and whoever was there, it's just, I get nothing but great memories of St. Louis, even till this day.
Can you say Mike Caruso
one more time? So he
can hear that, just so he can hear that one more time.
Caruso, he's there. How long has he been there? 40 years?
Yeah, he looks the same.
Well, he's only 20.
I remember I know I get older. I look at myself, I'm like, God, Leatherface. Mike doesn't get old.
Yeah, Bergie, neither do you. Okay, so calm down a little bit with that goddamn hair. You look great. 60 years old.
Where do you get your style from? What's the inspiration behind your style? Because I love the fact that when you became a general manager, I used to at the draft. Okay, what's he wearing on the flag? I could always find you. I could always find you at the draft, because what you were wearing. But you just stayed true to who you are, man. You never changed from that standpoint. So I like how you had fun with your style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know when I came to Chicago as a 19-year-old, I had a pair of green shoes. And I'm a French kid from Montreal, doesn't speak English, show up at training camp with green shoes. And I didn't mean anything by it. I just had green shoes. And I took a beating. And looking back, I'm like, yeah, I had green shoes as a 19-year-old. It's not like I was a style. It's just, I guess it's my personality. I
My
don't know.
God.
But now it's Louis Vuitton and
No,
green
no,
shoes.
No?
I can't afford Louis Vuitton.
You could a
No
few
way.
years ago.
No way.
I mean, but when you're the GM of Montreal, are there as many perks for the general manager as there is for the players?
Yeah, a little bit. Yes.
Are you paying
Yeah.
for dinner?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times, yeah, but overall, yes. I mean, you don't, like I said, be humble. Don't go restaurant expect to have, because you're general manager of Montreal Canadian. No. So
Mhm.
You gotta
there's
be the
some-
big dog.
Could you hide? Like, because I would imagine you're not wanting. It's such a stressful job in that market. You're not wanting to go to dinner to talk about hockey or
Yeah.
talk hockey. Could you get away and hide?
No, how you can really. No, you can. But people are very respectful. I mean, the odd time some people would ask question, but yeah, I've never been a place where I wasn't comfortable, where I go, I gotta get out of here. People are always been respectful and give you space and no, overall it was a good time.
What about like you're going through ups and downs, and reporters are all over the team. They're all over players, and maybe some young kid, and you're just reading the paper, or you're reading whatever, you're listening to what they're saying. You're like, God damn it, I gotta say something to him. Has that ever happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If they were really out of line,
Yeah.
I would try to bring him back, explain the reason why he's out of line. And most of the time because always remember, they don't have the information that I have. So it's hard sometimes. And I know as a reporter, you have to report. I get that. But sometimes they don't know they only report on what they know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know, it's hard to report. So sometimes if they're really out of line, I mean, not every single time because I wouldn't stop doing it, but if they were really out of line, I would say, listen, you're out of line and this is what's going on. And you should know this so you could, either address it or fix it.
Correct it.
Correct it, yes.
But see, as a reporter, that's all I ask is that the manager does have that open door of communication. Help me understand so I'm not presenting something that's
Correct.
inaccurate. So
but in Montreal, there's so many of them.
Oh,
there's
you can't
talk show,
talk to
radio show
everyone.
all day long.
Yeah.
You
All
just
day.
can't. I mean, like first of all, I in my car when I was in Montreal, all I had is access. I was listening to
XM
radio.
Yeah, like Studio 54 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get overwhelmed by information that was pretty much. So I would tell my PR guy, if it's really something I need to know, you let me know. Otherwise, I don't need to know.
If it's a guy on AM radio in Montreal saying something, you're like, I don't need to deal with that. But if the guy's on XM, Sirius satellite, and he's spewing things, you're like, I need to address this, basically. I got you.
Listen, because I think, and I've always covered really good general managers who have been fair like that, like Larry was in. I could call Larry Plow. He just answered the phone any time of the day. Were reporters calling you? Did you have that relationship with guys who could just call you?
No. There's too many of them because in Montreal, if you favorite one guy and it's one station, then the other guy's like, okay, now, and then you have the English, the French.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you just can't do it. It's impossible. I mean, you just nonstop and it's left and right. No, there's not. You couldn't do that. Not in that market. Anyway.
No, I mean my first year covering the team. I mean there was maybe like two of us at the rink for a random practice. Post game, maybe you got some TV cameras, but I'm talking about going to the daily practice, being around the team every day. It was like me and a newspaper guy, like two of us, and that was it.
Like I remember my first year. I think it was towards the end of July. We hired two guys for player development, which was Marie Lapointe and Patrice Brisebois. And I told the PR guy, I said, we're going to hire these two guys. He says, okay, Friday afternoon press conference. We don't need press conference. He goes, no, you need to have. I said, well, just have a press release. He goes, no. I said, okay. He said, this is Montreal. So I show up at July 28th. at our press room in Montreal at the practice room. He was packed for announcing two guys who are. I mean, it's an important role, but
Player
who else just
development.
I said, don't they go to vacation? It's in July. The place was packed, and that's when I'm like, okay, this is a different animal.
Yeah, but you had to do 2 press conferences. Didn't you have to do
French
an
and
English press conference?
back and forth, yeah.
How long's a press conference for you? I mean, you got an hour each,
God.
45 minutes each.
Between 45 minutes to an hour.
Do they cover
both? So you have to answer in French, and most of the time they'll say, "Can you say in English, please?" So then, you do it. So it takes twice the time because of that reason.
Okay, I want to ask this question the most respectful way. Does the French media cover the team the same way as the English media? Are they more hardcore? Are they more critical? Are they easier to deal with?
I don't think it goes by language. It goes by individual.
Okay.
So some French guys were harder, some English were harder, and vice versa. I don't think it went by language. It just went by personality or whatever they saw.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you ever prank? I know you did pranks, and you were the guy in the locker room. But did you ever do anything to a guy, maybe like kind of joke with him, and he got pissed at you because he was too serious?
As a teammate?
As a teammate.
You put on a blonde wig and you stared at him.
You fucking did something to his skates, and he goes out there and blows the tire. I don't know. Like, and they're like, what the fuck,
the old donut, the wax, the donut. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was Mike Hartman. Remember him?
Mike Hartman.
I played with him in Tampa. He played in Buffalo. Hard-nosed kid, great kid, great teammate. But one morning I had some donuts, and then I put them in the wax thing, for your hands, keep it warm, and I put it back, and Artie took off. He goes, brought donut. And he really threw the donut. He was mad. But then he laughed later on, but he wouldn't talk to me for a couple of days. He said he had wax in his teeth.
But what was the story? Were you in Montreal? Where were you? Maybe it wasn't Montreal, but you were playing for St. Louis. But you weren't on the team bus, but you were walking down the street with like a sign or something. Well,
I was in the playoff in Arizona. We play Game 7 before we play the Coyotes.
The big comeback to come from behind, right? When you guys
were
down
3-1.
Yeah.
Turgey with that.
So what the sign say?
Well, I put a curly wig, a big wig, and I knew I had surgery. That's when I had my abdominal tear, so I wasn't playing. But they took me on that trip, and I took a sign. I put "Good luck tonight. See you guys in Dallas." And when I saw the bus leave at the Ritz-Carlton in Scottsdale, I went around the corner and I had a Blues jersey, and I was like this. And the guys were quiet. It's Game 7. Everybody's getting ready, and they're at the corner, the stop line. They go, That's Berg. And then, the bus left, and then I'm not saying that's why we won, but they ended up winning the game and moving on to the next series. So I guess the guys laughed all the way to the ring, maybe loosen them up a bit.
I love it. Could you have, as a GM, dealt with a player like yourself? Like, would you have liked to have a player like you who was doing pranks and being the comedian, having fun at the rink? Like, do you think you would be able to handle a player like you as a player if you were the general manager? Would you like that?
Yeah, we had some of those guys with some, think one Mike Weaver. He was
he's the best.
Mike Weaver.
I love Weaves.
Yeah. The Dream Weaver.
That way, always,
Smart, very smart.
Yeah, really smart. Little nerdy guy, but smart guy.
He's a computer.
He was good for us. He played hard.
He hit. He was a hitter.
Yeah, he's long stick. I think he had the
longest arms.
Yeah, we had some of those guys, and they had success. And as long as pick your spot.
Can I ask you something? Andy was a young kid, and now I got to say that, but did he go in when you were in, I guess, Enterprise Center at the time, and he came in with the camera crew, and you're like, get the fuck out of here, which I don't blame you to do. Well, but did that happen?
Andy, think about this. If you would have done that to Lula Morello or Doug Armstrong, for example, what would have said?
Oh my God.
He'd be dead right now.
Okay. Can I set the story?
No, it's okay. We took care of it.
We did. We have.
I remember you were waiting for Rob Ramage.
I what?
You were waiting for an interview with Rob Ramage.
No, Scott Mellenby.
Is it Mel?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mel, and we're in the suite, and I turn around, he's sitting there.
Standing.
Standing.
With my camera guy. But
Yeah.
I said, and this
Get
is the
outta
honest
here.
to God truth. This is my first year doing television, okay?
But looking back, do you believe that was the wrong thing to do?
It rattled me for months.
Rattled him.
That's
He still talks about
Birch, I can't believe it didn't get out to the Montreal media because
Well, I'm not going to rat you out.
you were like in my face screaming at me after the game. Chaser came in and grabbed me out of the locker room. I'm like in there. I'm like, hey,
And
how
we
was
lost
it?
the game on top of it.
Oh,
It made it worse.
What'd you
The
do?
Blues were up 2-0 when I was in your box.
Oh, man.
Okay, so let me set the scene. And I went through the proper channels, PR, and I was like, "Hey,
you did that. Yeah,
we're
yeah.
good. We're
You
gonna
just-
we're gonna interview Mel." And I'm pretty sure Mel said, "Just come to the box." I don't even know, but in my first year of television, I mean, it was one of the first games I've ever done. I mean, ever, like less than 5. And I'm like, okay. And we're standing outside the box. I say to the camera guy, I'm like, I don't know if we should go in there. And he's like, it's a camera, they don't give a shit. They're just like, no, like, this is what they do. They're like, okay, well, they told you to go in there, go in there. We're standing behind you, Burge, for like 10 minutes. You don't even know we're in there. The fucking game's going on. It's back
He's
and forth.
dialed in,
Blues are
watching.
scoring.
Oh,
He
man.
turns around, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Mel comes out and does the interview. He's like, it's okay, I'll talk to him. He comes out and does the interview. I'm fucking rattled. I'm like, I'm going to get fired. This is terrible. I'm in the locker room after the game. And Chaser's like, hey, come here for a second. I'm like, okay. I go outside of the locker room, security's there, and I'm like, I'm trying to just ease into the job, you know? Like, I was the guy before that, breaking a lot of stories, all that type of shit. Like, I don't want to be that guy anymore. And security's that they're waiting for me to fuck up. And here you are like, don't you ever fucking do that again. I'll fucking la, la, la. And I'm like, oh my God.
Figure it out.
Screaming at me.
Figure it out.
And I'm like, this is going to be national news on like RDS or something. I never said a word to anybody about it. And
Neither did I.
Until now.
Can you believe it never got? I thought for sure this was going to be like, I can't believe there weren't any
But
cameras.
that's unacceptable, though. Like, don't.
Okay.
Don't come in
We
there.
don't need your opinion.
I'm just saying.
So I went up to you at the draft the next year, and I felt really bad about because I knew that,
And it was okay.
I would never do that again ever.
You learn.
You learned.
But remember, if a guy asks you, if you were that to Army or Lou or whoever, they probably done the same thing.
I would never do that.
See,
You'd be in
me,
the swamp in Jersey.
there's a difference between, because we know, like when we went to the final, you know, I was jumping and stuff. There's a difference between an emotional person and a passionate person.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about what I do.
Yeah.
Like I've made a lot of trades in Montreal or whatever. I've never done anything based on emotion.
Mm.
It was what you see. It's my passion for, you know, it's not so much winning. It's I hate losing and I want to win. And I hope that people in Montreal, when they saw this, they saw the same person that was sitting in their living room wanted the Montreal to win. And that's what I am. I managed the team. I'm a general manager at the time, but I was also somebody who really want to win. So that's my passion for what I do. And that's why, you know, I don't feel like I've worked a day of my life because hockey's been my passion since I can remember.
So, yeah, because I had a really good relationship with you before that. Like, you were always so nice to me. My first year covering the Blues.
No, listen, I moved on a long time ago.
Because one of the best lines ever. I was on a plane with you one time coming from the draft, and I'm not going to say who the player was, but he was like, you know, like his agent, like, they're trying to find a contract, and I was pushing the player on you. I'm like, hey, you should sign this guy, whatever. And you looked at me and go, he's a Band-Aid. And I'm like, oh.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
You need
Probably was.
Band-Aid, but sometimes you don't need too many of them. I was a Band-Aid.
And I didn't want to go back with that news to the agent and be like, no, it's not happening. But he was like, hey, did you say anything? I'm like, no, I forgot to bring it up. I apologize, you know. So you're coming in town, though. You're excited to come in town again? You like coming to St. Louis?
Yeah, for Chaser, for the game, yeah. Chaser's got a battle on his hand, but for me, I play with Kelly, I don't know, 5 years, felt like 15. but he was for the role he had, I use an expression, he knew the game within the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Cam, you played that role and you did that job, and your teammate respected you. And just like Chaser, and you knew the game within the game, you guys have a lot in common. And I hope and I feel he's going to win that fight. And he just, I'll give you an example. We had a game in Chicago, always had these tough teams, Pro B and Vanderbush, Reed Simpson, you can name them all. And they would run either at Al or Prongs. And we had Twister and Chaser, and Chaser would get up next shift and he'd grab Tony Amonte or Zamna, face wash him, and they would go, "Why? Leave me alone. I didn't do anything." He goes, "Well, you tell the Pro B to quit running Al." And next thing you know, Pro B would come after Chase. That was the game. He wouldn't go after Pro B. He'd go after the other guys. And eventually Pro B would be like, "Okay, now I got to leave Al alone and go, or Prongs and go after Chaser." And Chaser would answer the bell, or Twister would. So I think, that's what he represents for me as the ultimate teammate. He just stood up for his teammates, and that's one of the reasons I want to be there for him.
Who was louder in the locker room, Chaser or Twister? Did they ever kind of go back and forth a little bit? Or
a little bit. I would say Chaser more. Chaser, he could give a woodpecker a headache. He could talk, but he was loud, and he got us going. He did. Twister was more, more quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He let his fist do the work. But Chaser was more the rah-rah guy in the locker room.
Listen, we've had, hundreds of Hall of Famers come on here, biggest names in the history of the game. The one guy who I love, man, and he's one of my favorite people, but he just won't do these types of interviews, is Al McInnes. What kind of teammate was he? Like, how great people know he had the hard shot. Do they really recognize how great of a player he was? And did you know he was that great before you came and played with him?
Well, I knew he was good, but as good as he was, and as good as, his number is retired, which it should be, he's better. If you play with him every day, he was even better than that. Like, talk about his shot was deadly, but the way he played the game, his first outlet pass, the way under pressure, like, he was a good defenseman, like a great defenseman. Put aside his shot, which was off the chart, he was even better defensively. He cares. He wanted to win. He is a great teammate, a great friend, and a great leader. Yeah, Al is, in my book, top of the food chain.
Same.
Yeah, man.
Same. No doubt. Hey, do you like the way the game is played right now? What would you, where's the game at in your opinion? You've been around the NHL for so long. Are we trending in the right direction in your opinion? Would you like to see some changes?
No, I think we are. There's a trend that, you can't go back to the 80s, obviously. A game is way faster. The speed of the game is to another level, which you'll never go back to that. You look at some tapes back in the mid 80s. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. The goalies, they just small, they never went down. Like, it's different games. So yes, the game is better today. It's more fun. It's quicker. There's still accountability. You wish sometimes there were more, but there is still some. It's still a men's game. Playoff hockey, it's a different game than regular season. Yeah. So it's tighter. It's harder. It's a men's game. It's not easy.
Hey, what'd you think of the refs not allowing Kemper and Swayman to fight? Yeah. Like, what's the rule behind that? Because that happened with Marc-Andre Fleury and Jordan Binnington a couple years ago. Fleury came down like they were ready to go. The fans want to see that. Are the referees told not to allow the goaltenders to fight?
I can't answer that question. I'm not in those meetings, so I don't know. It looks that way, but I don't know what's they've been told. You don't want your goalie to break his hand in a fight. I get that. There's, the fans want to see it, but is it necessary?
You don't want your star forward either. You don't want your star forward to break his hand either, but they let them go. I think the GMs
it's a goalie. Like, so what? I don't know. Remember that fight with the Rangers and you guys, Jersey?
Oh yeah.
And did the
Off the
goalie
draw.
fight? I don't remember that. Did they?
No, they didn't. But I remember there's a goalie fight with Pittsburgh and the Islanders, and Brent Johnson got.
Oh yeah, and Rick DiPietro.
Yeah, DiPietro
He beat
got.
the
Remember
shit
that?
out of DiPietro.
Remember that big brawl? And Brent Johnson came up with a left and just caught him and knocked him right out. And I don't know.
That's a question for the league you would have to ask. I don't have that answer for you.
What about a lot of these old schooler guys that we've talked to, and I know Glenn Sather came out and said something that he doesn't want Ovi to break Gretzky's record. I mean, Gretzky's in such an aura in a different level, and he's such a nice guy, and we all love him. But like, what do you think about the Ovi?
The great chase.
The great chase going on right now. I mean, Ovi's like he's like a fucking Canadian. He's a North American. He hits. He does everything, and I don't know. I'm rooting for the guy. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the guy's played for 20 years, and he's going to beat the record. Yeah, I mean, like somebody just beat. Is it the record? I mean, it's different. The most games played in a row was just beat not too long ago. Was it Yandel or? Do you remember number of games in a row?
Most consecutive games played.
Like there's records.
Yandel did it. Yandel did it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
Record are meant to be broken, so it is what it is, and it's Ovi, and it's great for the game. I mean, they were in LA 10 days ago, and it was sold out, and Ovi's jersey. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the game. It's Gretzky. Gretzky was, his numbers retired across the league. I mean, he's an icon, but his record are meant to be. And maybe 20 years from now, somebody will break that record. Who knows? It's just good for the game overall.
Berge, this is not even a controversial question, although some people out there will try to make it to be. But you were in Chicago for a long time, and I had a chance to sit down with Joel Quenneville about a year ago. Last time he was in town for Chaser's event. He's one of my favorite people ever. I mean, I'm a young reporter. This guy gave me so much access, taught me so much about the game when I first started covering the NHL. One of my favorite people ever, one of the greatest people ever. And it's sad to me that this guy isn't able to get another chance, man. Like if you were a general manager, would you have a problem hiring Joel Quenneville as a head coach?
Well, I think Joel will be back. I think he's, whatever happened in Chicago, I think it's been a long time and it's been talking about it. And I think he's been public with this on your show. And I think the league will, or if they have not yet, allow him to come back. So I think he's learned, and at some point, I believe he'll be back in the NHL.
Yeah, I think they have given him the green light. And Stan Bowman obviously is back
managing.
Yeah,
Stan's back. I think Joel will be back, yes.
Okay.
He coached me in St. Louis when you were there. Then in Chicago with, for those, I don't know, 10 years in Chicago he was, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
How many cups were you there for?
The first one.
2010.
10, I believe, yes.
When Pronger was stealing the pucks. In 2010. Was that against Philly?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Kane scored a goal, and then they still haven't found that puck.
He denies it, I think, still. Didn't he?
No, I think he admitted it.
Did he admit it when he was on?
Oh, yeah. He admits it.
Did he?
He admits it.
What was the best team he played on?
Probably the Detroit team in 95, 96.
Oh.
We did lose to Colorado in the conference final, and they went on to beat Florida 4 straight. I think we had 130-something points that year. I think we lost like 11, 12 games.
Oh, man.
That was the best team all around that I played.
Unbelievable.
They were loaded too, though, Colorado.
So good. Sergei Fedorov.
So you had the Russian 5. Remember Sergei, Larionov, Kozlov with Konstantinov and Fedorov?
Did they hang out with you guys, or were they just in their little clique?
I don't think they were cliquey. They hang around together, but they're really good. They were really good. Like they were like, I like these. They were good. Russian or a little, it's a different culture, but they were good. They always, they were good. I enjoyed them. My only 1 year, but sad what happened to Vladdy with that accident. But no, they were really good. Russian, very fun, good teammates, and obviously great players.
Hey, I want to ask you a question about your team, though, right now that you're working with LA. I love this Kopitar. He's another guy that just doesn't get, what have you learned about him that maybe you didn't know before you got to see him up close every single day?
Well, you hear about it, but until you see it, the expression, playing the game the right way, never cheats ever on the ice, ever. So if you add the amount of points he gets a year, you could add 20, 30 more if he kind of cheat a little bit. He doesn't do that. Like he plays, never in one game you go, what was that? Where was he going? Never, never. It just, that's what's amazing that you be, when I think about Kopi, it's consistency. Every single night, you know what you're getting. And he's a big centerman that obviously Mother is not probably the same player he was at 25, but he hasn't dropped off that much.
No.
And he's every night.
Is home ice advantage that important?
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
Across the league?
Well, for the Kings. I mean, you're right there.
Well, obviously this year we've been outstanding, but yeah, I mean, when playoffs start, no, I don't, across the league, I don't think NHL hockey, home ice advantage, it's not a huge factor. I mean, yes, we have a good home record, but when playoffs start, I don't think our guys will be thinking that way.
Burge, when we had Doug Armstrong on, I asked him, are there any trades that you've made that you would want to have back or that you regret? And he admitted publicly the Petro one is the only one that he...
That wasn't a trade, by the way. That was a free agent signing.
Didn't get him signed. You're right. Didn't get him signed, and he ended up signing in Vegas. But anybody that got away, that was very good of you, by the way, to correct. Anyone that got away, that if he had to do it over again, he would have maybe have done it differently. He says he regrets how that played out. Anything on your end that you would feel the same way about? Is it the Sergachev trade? Is there anything that you would say, if I had to do it over again, maybe I would look at it differently, or do you not operate like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's things that I've done over my time in Montreal that I'm like, it didn't work out. But like I tell you, when you make a trade, you go, okay, this is what's going out. This is what I'm getting. There's a risk because some players play different under different coaches. And then in Montreal, you had the pressure from the media. You don't know until it's like a number 2 goalie. You never know he's going to be as a number 1 until he is, because it's a different animal when you have to play every other night, and then when you have to play 25 or 30 games a year. Until you're the number 1, you don't know. So it's the same thing when you go in a non-market hockey market to a hockey market where it's driven by the media, where every night the spotlight on you. How are you going to react to criticism? You don't know until you're in there. So, yes, there's trade. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It didn't work out. But at the time, you do the plus and the minus. You go, yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's going to make our team better. That's why I'm making the trade. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, but you just can't drool on it. You just move on.
Could a non-French speaking person be a general manager in Montreal? Could that ever work?
Non-speaking French-speaking, not French-speaking general manager. It's just difficult. I mean, that's for ownership to answer that, because your market is, it's both language, but it's driven by the French-speaking. So you need to talk to them. They need to know what you have to say. I guess that's a question for ownership.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Sam Pollock was the last one, I believe, or Irvin Grondman. I'm not sure if they spoke French. I know they're. I can't answer that. It'd be difficult, but
it'd be hard. I mean, I'm just seeing it up close even yesterday, and I've been in Montreal before for games, and I'm aware of like the media situation there. I mean, somebody would have to be able to speak French to be able to.
Yeah, you need to communicate with them 100%. Yes.
Are there
Not
more
only the media, your fans too, the fan base?
Is there more English or French media in Montreal? Is there more?
I'd say probably more French. There's a lot of both, but I would say, yeah, more French. But there's a lot of English too, but there's more French.
Mm.
Yes.
And last one from me, man. What's your workout routine look like, Bergie? Like, I gotta ask you.
You taking protein?
Like,
you
what
need
the
some
fuck are you
first
doing?
form
Okay, are you skating? Like, what are you doing? What's your workout routine like?
I'm gonna skate with you on Friday.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Have you been skating?
I work out every day except one day a week. So, and I work out for about an hour and 15 minutes. So I don't spend a lot of time in the gym, but it's more for my mind than anything else. If I missed a day at the gym, I was like, I mean, I feel like I don't feel good. So, I mean, I'm not like, I just do half hour of cardio and I lift weights for about 40, 45 minutes. That's it. I'm done.
Write
It's
that
just
down, Andy.
It's just a routine. It's a habit of me of doing it every day.
I get you.
You want to manage again?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like I said, the job itself is fun. I love it. It's not work. It's challenging, but it's a fun job. I love being around people. You know, Joe manager, you manage people, and I love being around people. And yeah, I hope one day I will. If I don't, I'm happy in LA with great staff with Luke and Blakey and everybody that's there. I do enjoy them. Glenn Murray, I don't know if you know Nelson Emerson, good friend of Chaser.
yeah.
They're good
Great
people.
Yeah.
Coaching staff, like I really love it there. But do I like one day to be a general manager again? If it presents itself, yes, I would.
Glenn Murray, he could shoot the puck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he could. He could shoot. He can't pass gas, but he could shoot.
Hey, just so you know, you will get a job now. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
telling
will.
you, like that'll.
Just so you know.
The phone will be ringing.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Okay, and you deserve it too.
Yeah, man.
Because everyone wants to second guess and do all this, man. I mean, you did a lot of good things too in Montreal and helped set that team up for where they are right now. I mean, I'm
Well,
looking
like
at
I said, I wasn't. When I say we as a staff, we're not perfect, but I think we did more good than mistake. And if you want a GM to be perfect, it'll never gonna happen. Again, if you don't do anything, then you can make mistake. But then you try to make your team better, and sometimes you take risk, and you try to balance the risk and reward. And but at the end of the day, I think we did more good than bad, and I learned a lot there. And I believe I'll be better if I get another chance at it.
that Caulfield looks pretty good. Wait,
Suzuki?
you weren't hesitant. Suzuki. Hey, trading. I got to ask you that. Trading your captain.
Not easy.
That can't be, especially there. He was a very popular captain. That's a hell of a trade. I'm watching this Suzuki last night. I mean, that's a
Damn
great
good.
trade.
Damn
They
good
got
player.
Caulfield there, who was drafted obviously under your
Yep.
regime. I mean, a lot of the success they're having right now was created from when you were there. But walk me through that trade. How long did you have to think about that before you actually pulled the trigger on it?
Well, Vegas was, as you know, Vegas, how they operate. They're in the win now, and they need goal scoring, and Patch provided that for them. They've traded a lot of their first round pick over the years, so I knew that was a possibility. But looking now, yes, Montreal benefit from the trade because Patch has moved on. But at the time, Patch, I think he scored back-to-back 30 goals in Vegas. They went to the conference final against us. So that trade, but it was hard because Patch, like you said, was a popular player. It was the captain, was drafted and brought up in Montreal. I still have a relationship with Patch today. I saw him in Wash last year. We talked for a bit. I wish him the best. I know he's hurt, right now, and it has a couple tough seasons, the last couple.
Yeah.
But that trade, it set Montreal because, as you know, centermans are hard to get. And Nick's hockey IQ is really high. I mean, he's having a really good season, but I'm not surprised because I remember in the conference final against Vegas, he got hit by Brandon McNabb.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a hip check. He got up, never missed a beat. And then the next round in the final against Tampa, I think it was either Coleman or Gaudreau really hit him hard. Not, I mean, you could say not cheap to a penalty, but, he wasn't anyway. No, I have no issue with the hit, but it was a hard hit. And Webby was because I remember I talked after with Shea and Nick, and Webby says, don't worry, we'll get him. And Nick goes, hey, don't worry, it's all good, man. Just win the game. He's all business. Nick Suzuki is all business, and I'm glad he's having, the success he's having in Montreal.
Yeah, for a captain of the Montreal Canadiens, he's pretty quiet.
Mature,
right?
mature for his age. Very mature for his age. Yes. Very.
See, that's the benefit, though, of bringing a Shea Weber into the organization. You know,
I think he did help him, to be honest. I mean, I don't have the, other than my eyes tells me how Nick was, but also Nick was also, there's guys you could help all they want, but they're like, I don't want to help. But, I think he was receptive to having Shea there. And I think he made him the player he is today, especially with his leadership.
Yeah.
And the Blues, by the way, they're playing well. We played them 3 times in 8 days.
I know.
And Monty and, the staff there, they're hard to beat right now, and I think you just scratching the surface of that team.
They're doing things right,
and I know, and they're going to be good. Moving forward, they're young. They've got young players coming too, and Monty's done a great job. And
great guy too.
And Doug Armstrong said kind of privately, he may have said it a little bit publicly, but even going into the year, talking to him, he felt like this team was good enough to get in. He wasn't like saying, "Hey, we're not going to go win the division," but I think we have the talent to get in. And they didn't look like it, going into that 4 Nations, but they've come out of it and they've been
on
unbelievable.
Fire. Damn right.
And just the way they play. They're playing playoff hockey now. Because we played them that's why I know. I've seen them play three games in 7, 8 days against us. They're heavy. They play pucks. I like the way they're playing right now, and looks like they're getting in. And you know what? Once you're in, anything's possible.
Let's go.
Anything can happen. I wish you guys the best of luck too,
man.
in LA, man. You guys have a fun team to watch, and you guys play the right way. So, all the best there.
And we'll see you in a week.
We'll see you in St. Louis.
No, I'll see you first. Well, it's always nice to see you guys.
Hey, man, it's good to see you.
I'm going to come into your box. Just so you know, I'm going to do it again. Next time you're a GM, I'm coming in.
Smack his ass around. Seriously. That's so funny.
Billy Garrett, he invites me in. He says, come in and watch.
He was so rattled probably after that. I don't blame you, man.
So upset.
Bergie, you're the man, dude. Appreciate the time, seriously. And I'll see you next week, man.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
no problem,
you're
dude.
the best, man. Take
see
care.
You, buddy.
Take
Thanks
care.
again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. Behlmann. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Marc Bergevin. You call him Marc. All the Canadian journalists, they call him Bergevin.
Bergie.
Bergevin.
He looks like Till Lindemann, the lead singer of Rammstein. He looks exactly like Till Lindemann.
A lot of our guests have looked like
all you
people
shit kickers
recently.
know about Rammstein, baby. The shit kickers know. Checked out. Go side by side with those two. It's unbelievable.
They don't know that. They don't know
the
that.
cool guys do.
No.
Not your type.
Women might too.
Not your type. If there's a Rammstein show, that's the number one thing I'd want to go to right now. Rammstein.
Who did you say that Nate Thompson looked like?
Roman Reigns.
I want to give a shout out to Brant Myers real quick because he's putting out some cool shit.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I saw
and
that
he
too.
had some stuff with Sheldon Souray, man.
We like both of them.
And they're just
Just
both
showing up
former
in
guests
Idaho.
on the podcast and supporters of the podcast.
Does Brant live
great
in
people?
Does Brant live in
No,
Idaho
but he goes
too?
and hangs out out
with
there all
with
the time.
Sheldon.
Yeah.
God, that place looks so beautiful.
Riding his
man.
motorcycle
We haven't gotten
through
invited
the
out there
open
yet.
road.
Yeah.
Brant, invite us out to Idaho.
I
dude.
know, Brant. Let's go. Yeah, we'll chill with you. We'll play golf, cruise around, do our thing,
I'll play golf.
and you'll play golf. You know
Favorite part about the Bergevin interview?
that he came on and stayed an hour with us. That whole thing. We
Answered every
and
question.
Answered every question. A couple times I thought he was getting annoyed, but that's just his personality.
I know he gets a little uncomfortable.
He kind of gives you that look like, what? And I'm like, God.
Very emotional towards his players.
Yeah, he said some cool things, man. Like he really did. You know what I mean? He never felt like he was on the spot. Like,
I
he just
felt
answered
like
everything.
the trade for Shea Weber was a great trade. People still chirp him for moving PK Subban for Shea Weber. Give me Shea Weber all day long.
Yeah, I think it's the and the trade with Vegas for their captain now with Suzuki was great.
God, Max Pacioretty, yeah.
But he does get chirped for a couple things. What do you think the number one thing
The
is?
Sergachev trade, that's a tough one.
That was a tough
to
one.
Tampa.
That's
and
a tough
they
one.
included a second-round pick for
That's tough.
for Jonathan Drouin.
Kakinemi over Brady.
Yeah, that was a tough draft.
That's a tough one.
But you know, a lot of times these general managers, man, you got to trust your amateur scouting staff.
But you said that to him, and he's like, no,
no,
that's on
he
me.
took it.
He's like, no.
He took
I
it.
could have said no, and
I do think if you're a GM and you have a top 5 pick, you got to go out and watch all the top players on your own, though, too. You got to go watch.
He might have did.
I know. I'm just saying. You got to go watch.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be fair just to put it on the amateur scout.
Dude, Who doesn't do that?
Mhm.
What GM doesn't do that? I mean, shit, Army leaves fucking all the time. He's going over
Yeah.
there. He's going over here. He's watching the 26th pick
Yeah.
and goddamn
You
Sweden.
know, but they're not all going to the U18 World Championships and stuff like that. If you're not in the playoffs, typically you probably are.
These GMs are traveling, dude. They're watching. How can you not do
If
that?
you're in the playoffs, typically you may not make it over to the U18s. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
If you sticking out around with your team,
yeah.
you know what I mean. And if your draft pick's going to be in the 20s or whatever,
Yeah, but if
like you're not watching the top 5 players.
top
You
five.
know you're not getting them.
You're
But
seeing
if you have a top 5 pick, you better know each of the top 10 players in the draft like the back of your
and
hand.
fucking highlights every day. Send
And-
me.
And you can talk about Brady all you want, but they Quinn Hughes too was also. And I'll say this: Quinn Hughes was taken
right.
7th, so there's a lot of teams that passed over on Quinn Hughes.
Did he get hurt? How did he go? I mean,
I don't know.
he's just small, I guess.
I watched McCarr the other day. Sometimes I watch Quinn Hughes and I'm like, damn, he's just as good as McCarr. And then I watch McCarr, I'm like,
McCarr's more physical.
I don't know. I don't know if he is. McCarr is like just as electrifying in the offensive end. I feel like
He's so good.
Hughes may be a little bit of a better playmaker than McCarr. I just feel like Hughes never loses the puck. And everything he tries to do, he executes. He may be, I don't know, man. It's a tough one to say who's better from the blue line in than McCarr and Hughes. They're right there with each other. I've never seen anything like it with both of them.
I know. They're freakish.
Now,
they're a head over heels better than
you could say McCarr defensively is
just bigger, man.
bigger and stronger.
He's just bigger and stronger.
give
He'll
you
throw
that.
you down. Like he'll hit you here
But
and
you
there.
see Quinn Hughes, dude, he just like shields off people. Like, but you can't get the puck from him.
Because he's got the puck. Like he's just got the puck, man. And he holds on and he'll shake it. He'll shake and bake it and he'll spin off and he'll go back and regroup and he'll come back up. I mean,
It's like you're not allowed to say Hughes is better than McCarr at anything.
you
But
say
like,
whatever you want.
he
dude.
might be at certain things. But McCarr, he's going to get 90 points
He's just
again,
bigger.
dude.
He's just a bigger guy.
I think only
They
like
skate the
13 defensemen in the history of the game have had like 90 plus points more than once in your career. Oh no, have had 90 plus points. 6 have done it more than once. And I think McCarr is trying to join that club
Yeah.
to get to 90 points for the second time in his career.
I tell you what, man. Even watching that Marty Natchez play,
He's a
Freaking
fits like a
good.
glove.
I see him with the puck. I'm like, he took the puck so fast out of the goddamn defensive zone, through the neutral zone, into the. I'm like, whoa.
Oh my God.
I go, whoa.
And that's what's missing from Carolina right now. They don't have puck transporters.
I'm like, I watch him skate. I'm like, he is unbelievable.
This is the difference. And I would say, like other
Holy shit.
GMs, I'm just telling you, that's where they made the biggest mistake, Carolina. Because you go out and you get a rental and you move a guy that has a year left in his contract, who's that guy?
He
Like,
looked
you
really
got to
good.
find ways to execute the trade without moving Marty Natchez.
I know, man.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
How could you move on from that guy? I wouldn't even need Rantanen, really. I'd be like, I don't know. I'll just
Just hold off a
stick
little
with
bit. We're
Natchez
good.
right now.
You're still winning.
And maybe we'll talk to Rantanen in the summer if he's a free agent. I don't know.
I don't know how they get rid of him.
Although he wouldn't have gone to Carolina, obviously.
Yeah. He's chilling in Dallas. He'll be fun.
He's chilling. It's it's a
Dallas might win the whole thing, you know.
They're good. You got Dallas over Colorado in the first round.
Man, watching Colorado though, although the Blues beat them, they're good.
Are they good enough when you get past McKinnon?
Sure. I don't know. They look good.
Okay.
They look fucking scary every goddamn shift.
Every time they have the puck.
Scary every shift. I'm like, Jesus, the Blues just did a really good job. Did a really good job.
Binnington
Dallas,
made some amazing
Vegas
saves, dude.
is good. Like, Jesus.
Vegas
like,
has won a
they're-
bunch of games in a
They're
row.
goddamn good.
6 or 7.
You can't count out Winnipeg, although they're the kind of team where you're like, are they going to win? You got to still prove
No
it
one
to me.
trusts Winnipeg.
I don't trust them at
because
all.
they haven't done it.
I
but you
know.
got to give them credit for how good they've been
They're
this
damn
season.
good, Andy.
Can I bring up one topic real
Yep,
quick? I meant
yeah.
to bring this up in the intro, and maybe we'll do it again next week. But this idea that all the tax-free states have an advantage over everybody else, I'm just not fully buying that. You know what I mean? It just so happens that a lot of the tax-free states who have hockey teams are really good right now. So the good players want to go there. I think it's a luxury to have. It's certainly an advantage. And if you're a really good player, if you have the option to go to a tax-free state and they're a cup contender, that's a double whammy. But, there was not that long ago, the tax-free states weren't very good. Tampa Bay's had really good players that they've had to move on from, that they didn't want to move on from because they couldn't keep them. There's still a salary cap that's in place. I think we're going through a time right now where we just assume they have such an advantage over everybody else. And there certainly is an advantage, but I don't think the advantage is as big as what everybody thinks it is. I just think all these teams are competitive and the best players want to go there right now. But that could change, just like before when the Panthers were shit. Everyone didn't want to go there.
No.
You know what I mean?
Tax-free or not. Although they've already they've established themselves enough to where even if they do go through a lull, I think that their practice facility,
Yeah,
their
I'm saying
rink,
before.
the way they're treated.
But I'm
yeah.
saying before. You know what I mean? Like
Now
they
people
weren't
will still
very
sign
good.
it.
Like if they were really good and then were bad again, then maybe that wouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so they've
Now it's different.
they've built up the equity.
Yeah,
Tampa
big
Bay's
time.
built up the
They got
equity.
an awesome facility. They got an awesome lifestyle.
Vegas has just gone for it since the day they joined the league, and it's a great place to live. So yeah, there's an advantage, but at the same time, I think we just think it's such an advantage that nobody wants to play anywhere else. The best players still want to go to a team in an organization where they're going to get taken care of and they know they're going to have a chance to win. And there are teams that are in that position outside of just the tax-free states. Is there an advantage? Yes. Is it as clear-cut and as big of an advantage as everybody makes it out to be? Probably not.
No, that's fair.
Because there's a salary cap that's in place. You can't get everybody anyway.
Yeah, and like even in Canada, where it's high taxes and stuff like, you're getting paid American money.
Yeah.
$60.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
you're buying something that's $200. You're like, no, that's $130 or whatever. You know.
All right, firstform.com/Camistrick. Again, use our link. Look out for that, Camistrick overtime if you want to be part of our email newsletter.
Yep.
And we'll
What do
let
they
you
do?
know.
Just send us their email?
No, we're going to have
We'll set it
Brody
up.
set something
Okay.
up for
We'll
them
set it
to sign up for it.
It's like a cool little, just like they do with Twitter, but you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah,
We'll give you
exactly.
extra content. We'll send you extra
It may
shit.
just be a weather forecast. I don't know what
Who
it will
knows
be.
what it'll be?
I
Or a
may-
cooking lesson.
It could be Cam, burning his steak and me showing you how to make a steak on the grill.
Or whatever. Something just different.
Yeah,
So you guys just get
something
extra
different.
content from us,
Yeah.
and we'll have a cool little party zone in
Extra
there.
content.
I'll bullshit with
Who's
you.
coming in for the Frozen Four? I want to know. Although the Penn State, I thought I was watching compared to the Boston College Denver game, it was like
Didn't look as
going
nice.
from high school to the
Yeah.
NHL. Penn State looks good though. I'm glad. Congratulations to Penn State. They beat UConn. First ever trip to the Frozen Four. We've had a lot of players from St. Louis go to Penn State, man. The Burger,
it's an awesome
the Burger
school.
kids, and
Yeah.
I think the Lordo kid went and played there 2 years ago. So we've had a number of kids go to Penn State. So big shout out to Penn State coming to St. Louis.
Our boy Jimmy
Dowd.
Jimmy Dowd, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, his son looked good. Got
Yeah.
slew-footed behind the net. Should have been a call on it.
Slew band-footed.
Slew band.
He went through that. He did slew. for
Weber or
people.
Subban in their prime.
Weber.
Thank you. And Weber
What are you
was probably a
doing
little
here?
bit past his prime, but he took them to the final.
Hall of Famer.
What he
Weber.
played through, man, it was interesting to hear Marc Bergevin talk about.
And Bergie talked him up as a person too. How
Yes,
he
he did.
demanded that locker room.
Yeah,
you know?
he did.
That's
he
pretty
did.
cool.
Never went into the locker room, Bergevin.
No, dude, you're not going to be buddy.
No.
He wants to be buddy
Yeah.
because he's a cool guy.
Illinois Recovery Center.
Right there in Swansea, Illinois, baby. Let's go.
You need help?
You need help. Chrissy, Jacob,
Only
Eric,
one
they do a
place to
damn
go.
good job. Message me, message them, whatever. All my DMs are open, man. If you need to talk, I talk to people all the damn time. Let me know. I'll set you up with those guys. There's a bed waiting for you.
And
You will
come,
be helped.
We'll come visit you, too. Dude.
I'll come visit and say, hey, man, it is what it is.
There's
Let's
been
do our thing.
listeners who have gone to Illinois Recovery Center who have been through other facilities, and they say this place
This
is
is the best
by
of the
far
best.
the best I've ever been
You'll
to.
get your work done.
And they care about you.
They care about you, man.
Hatlaunch.com, Cam.
Right there, dude. We got nice hats, man. You guys want a nice hat? You got your team. You got whatever. Hat Launch will get it done for you.
Hat
They do
Launch,
a damn
baby.
good job. Right out here in Illinois. Right there, baby.
Hat Launch. True Float, TRU.
The summertime's coming
Alberta
up.
Tough.
Summertime's coming. Those tornadoes will hit. That True Float cooler
Get the
will be right
heated
there,
chairs,
baby.
get the coolers.
And that cooler is damn nice, man. You get your cool-ass logo put on that bad boy. Really nice.
So nice. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to be like, damn, where'd you get this?
Where'd you get that bad boy? Like, ooh, True Float, what's up?
They're like, dude, I just kicked your cooler and it didn't dent.
They kick the Yeti cooler and it fucking explodes. Like me hitting Andy in an alumni game. Just because they're a bunch of pussies. Not True Float.
Who's the pussies?
Yeti.
Oh. True Float is
Tougher than
Alberta.
Alberta shit kicking, baby. Alberta shit kicking. That's what we like. Let's go.
TRU Float, baby. Bolt Sports, again, take that training to the next level. Get the dangles. Like me, I'm part Swedish. too,
Andy's
so-
everything. He's storyteller time today. That's what it's
Story
holy
time.
my God. Dog story and the Danton story
you may
again.
Have to
What
take,
else?
you may have to take something
Holy
out.
shit.
It wasn't the Cam
Maddie,
show today.
It wasn't a Cam show. It was a fucking Andy show. Story time with Andy. He had to one-up me.
The Andy show.
I actually got arrested. And 5 stories he tells about not even coming close to getting fucking arrested.
Bolt Sports, though, man. Boltsports.ca out of Toronto, man. We love the Canadian companies, too. They got the dangles. They've got the snipes. They've got the e-cones, man. Take your game to the next level with Bolt Sports, baby. The jersey generator.
Oh, man. If you want a jersey, like, put in your office about your company or whatever, dude, they'll hook you up. You want a jersey because you play on Sunday night games, league games, whatever you want, man.
Entrepreneur, Marcus.
Entrepreneur. Awesome guy.
Welcome
Young
to the
kid.
team. Say welcome to
Welcome
the
to the team, baby.
Use the promo code Andy10.
Or Cam10. Who do you like more? Andy or me? Cam or Andy? CAM10. Easy to do. One less
Don't
letter.
ever say that again.
Why?
Use the promo code Andy10.
Cam10. Check that bad boy out. Let's go. Let's go.
If Andy10 gets more than Cam10,
then what?
You got
They like you more?
Buy me dinner or something like that.
Okay.
You're cheap.
I'll probably buy you dinner
You
anyway.
would never do it.
Dude, you don't think I want to buy Andy dinner? It's
so
the easiest fucking thing in the world. This is ice water. Yeah, I'll buy you dinner. I'll go take you out to lunch right now if you want to. I got to kill an hour before I do this commercial.
I know. I got to go do an interview with Jimmy Snuggerud right now. I got to go home and change and like.
Let's go.
Jeez.
God damn it.
Holy smokes. The jersey generator. Get those new custom jerseys made for your team. You can get individual ones too. Ask them for a Cam and Strick jersey.
Yeah.
Wear one of those
They're
bad
badass.
boys too, man. Blue Note Roofing, David Novak, 314-920-5713.
Tornadoes came, and they're coming again.
And they're coming.
They're coming again.
They're coming
Your roof's
again.
going to be done fucked up.
Yep.
Have a good old boy, fucking David Novak, check that bad boy out and do your roof
He's
for
a
you.
shit kicker,
He's
too.
awesome, dude. Awesome guy.
Is
my boy.
He's a shit kicker.
Goddamn right he is. He's a Missouri shit kicker. Kind of like Alberta.
Mm-hmm. Similar. 314-920-5713. Cam at Bellman, you get
Swinging
no.
dicks. Told you that a million goddamn times. Don't play with me on that.
What?
Don't play with me on that.
Okay.
No swinging dicks.
Yeah, but they do have Buick GMC. They have flavored water and sushi as well.
Type B.
Which is amazing.
And he's type B personality.
Chrysler Dodge
Not
Jeep Ram on the other
Not the
side. All
creative type.
located where?
Troy, Missouri. Try, Missouri.
Say hi to Danny Boy.
Danny, Kenny,
Dale.
Dale.
Damn
Look
it,
at you,
Dale.
motherfucker. Love you guys, man.
We
Love
got
all
some
y'all.
good interviews coming up.
Marc Bergevin.
Thanks for all the support
Thank you, guys.
of
Love
the
you
Cam and
guys.
Strick podcast. Type A, baby. Type A.
Tune into this. Turn on the cam, I in the fizz. Turn on the switch, listen to Strick, yeah. Know if we swinging, there's never a miss. Don't follow a script, yeah. Topics change quick. Looking for facts, looking for tips. One's an enforcer, one's a reporter. Together we Cam and Strick, yeah. One's an enforcer, one's a reporter, yeah. You tuning in to Cam and Strick.